happy face going on.
Me too.
I gotta act like I'm the one starting the podcast. What is good, KOA? Is the King
What
of
is
Anime
up?
podcast. It is me, Sasuke the Savage, joined with my co-host, Everything Animated. Yay. How you doing, man?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm doing good. It's Monday. It's to be honest, I'm actually not doing that good. I'm kind of over it, to be honest.
We've been doing this podcast without that guy who should not be named for what, 5 weeks?
It feels like 5 years. It's been a long time. I mean, I think something needs to be done. I don't know about you, but you know what?
You're not talking about what I think you're talking about.
You know exactly what I'm talking about. And I think it needs to be done tonight.
Damn it, EA.
We have to do it. We have to bring him back.
Well, I guess you wanted to give me a sec. I wasn't prepared for this. I'll have to get my tools.
All right, no problem. Take your time. I'll talk with the chat. Hey, what's going on, Decrepit Storm? Hey, yo, the suspense is killing me. Well, just like Willy Wonka used to say, I hope it'll last. I love that movie. Yeah, I didn't want it to come to this, but it's gonna happen. Guess I'm just panning at this point. Hope everyone's having a good day in the chat. Ooh.
Let's do this.
All right. My lights are flickering.
Yeah, I'm not sure about this, man. I'm not sure about this.
Sasuke, it's gonna be okay. It's gonna be fine. You just gotta trust in the process.
For the love of C-Tactus, I offer to thee.
That burned up really fast. All right. Well, I have something for C-Tactics as well. I have this King of Anime podcast shirt. It's a little rugged, Teespring quality right there. This is for the brotherhood in which C was a part of. I offer unto thee.
Well, for the edginess of C-Tactus, I offer to thee.
Okay, I think we need a little more. Okay, I know. I got this for him. My N64 controller. For his love of video games. I may have been a little, older for him, but who knows? He's kind of an old man himself, so he likes retro games. Look, N64 controller, I offer to thee.
And last offering I have Keebler's Animal Crackers. I'm on a budget. I offer to thee.
Okay. So we got all those in the fire going. Now, the most important thing we need to do now is we need to recite the seance. I will begin. To the gods of old and new.
To the forces of all eternity.
From the embers of the sun.
From the light of the moon.
From the gravel of the earth.
Yeah, I'm not sure about this.
It's totally fine. Just keep going.
From the depths, the sea.
Gods, hear ye, ally of life.
Mold the flesh of sea.
Chisel the bone of sea.
Flow the blood of sea.
In thine Lord's name we chant. Vladilena makes me long and hard. Vladilena makes me
I'll
long
never crave,
and hard.
crave the way I craved crave. And now I crave. Hey guys.
Worked! Holy shit, see? Is that you?
Yep. How you doing?
Oh man, it's been so long. Oh, I'm doing good. I'm doing good. How did you make my house rattle?
How do we know you're the real Sea Tactics?
Well, if you remember recently, the government admitted there was aliens. I'm the alien.
Okay.
You know, that kind of makes sense. Yeah, I kind of thought that was you.
That one guy,
when you put it like that, it makes a lot of sense.
I just want to put something out there. That one guy said my ship looked like a propane tank. Yeah, that's not the case.
I don't know what that means.
I don't either.
I don't know. He just said it looked like a flying propane tank, and I don't know. I don't
know what the fuck he's talking about. This has to be Sea Tactics.
Yep, I think I think we finally brought him back.
Yeah.
Whew. Cost me a shirt and a controller though.
Yeah, that Berserk volume costed a lot. You owe me $60, sir.
Well, I could give it back, but you kind of burned it. I don't know why you guys burned all your stuff.
We did it to bring it back.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but I mean, it's not like I got any of it. It just brought me back. It's kind of like you sacrificed it, and
I guess I didn't think that far ahead.
Yeah.
So damn.
We should put you back where you came from.
Yeah. Let's see. Let's get that. Let me look up that verse that brings him back.
How do we reverse this? Hard and long. Me makes Vladilena.
Hard and long.
Also, that chant sort of ridiculous. I'm surprised it worked because none of that is true. That's all fabricated. Never happened.
Even from the dead. Oh shit. How's it going, C?
Pretty good. It took about a couple months off, but now I'm back. Everything's doing good. Doing everything I was doing before, but this time, not running myself into the ground. So
good to hear.
How has the podcast been for you guys? Have you guys been doing? Been having fun?
We've been streaming for longer, that's for sure.
Yeah, last week we streamed for like 3 hours, which is crazy. I turned into a robot, and at that 3 hour mark, I definitely turned into a robot. And then we talked about Rudius and him going limp and how he could basically have kept Eris if he would have gave her cunnilingus. It was great.
Good theory.
It seems plausible. Like, I haven't heard anyone, leave a person for being good at, giving head. So
Yeah.
could be the
Great
first. I mean,
theory.
it's Rudy, so could be the first. He could fuck it up somehow.
Well, yeah.
This is true. He's just like, is that good?
Tired.
Is that good?
Oh my god.
Oh shit.
I mean,
Well,
if he does
anyways.
it with what he was doing with the panties, then he probably doesn't have
my
a good
God.
chance.
Just worshiping. Yeah. If he told any of those girls he's worshiping another woman's underwear, I don't think it'd go down well.
They're about a decade old at this point now.
They look pretty good for a decade old.
I don't know. I'm not an appraiser of old panties, but I
Appraiser
would
of
guess
panties,
Yeah.
also known as the AP.
Well,
You would know more.
anyways, welcome to the King of Anime podcast, the only podcast that is going to pay tribute to Pee Wee Herman. He passed away.
Yeah. Rest in peace.
Sad news.
Rest in
Paul
peace.
Rubin.
So there you go. Also, the first podcast with an alien.
Mm,
Is it
I
really
don't
though?
know. Yeah, I feel like there has to be like some other alien we're not thinking about.
Well, I mean, EA, do you have something to say?
That's my alien language, I guess.
What the?
I don't know.
Well, anyways, I guess we should go ahead and get into the news. Satsuki, you have something here?
There's only really one thing I would like to say. It's because it's a series that's near and dear to my heart. So, and the series that we covered on this podcast just last season, Insomniacs After School is ending. Next chapter in August. I believe August 20th is when the chapter is going to come out. Sad because of how much the story could have did.
Mhm.
I won't spoil as to where the characters are in their lives because it's well after where the anime ended. But it's going to get to 125 chapters, and I just felt like there was more of a story that could have been told. What I'm hoping is that they pull a continuation, which isn't something that's not the norm in manga. I mean, it's happened before, but it usually doesn't happen. But I would love to see a story following Maguri and Ganta's life after where the manga is ending, because they could have done a bit more. But hey, I'm not that mad at it. At least it wasn't one of those series that just kept going on and on and on and ran itself into a wall. So
Yeah. Very true.
Yeah, fun fact. I totally forgot about that anime. I totally forgot to finish it. I finished every other anime but that one.
It was actually a lot better than I thought it would be. Me and Sasuke were talking about how when it comes to romance, it actually is better than average when it comes to like the run-of-the-mill animes, and I agree. I think it's pretty good. Definitely was. So if you ever get a chance to finish it, highly recommend it.
Oh, I'm going to probably tomorrow in my server. I'm probably going to watch it in there tomorrow. But I really enjoyed that anime. I thought it was I think what made that anime great was the characters.
Mhm.
Not really the idea. I just because like we've seen a billion romance before and it really is, I think it takes advantage of the main strength of what a romance is, which is just developing the characters, making you really like them, and showing a lot of their bright parts of their personality and some of their dark ones, and how the two people relate and stuff. So
Mhm.
I agree with that wholeheartedly. Me and EA had conversations. I think Because the premise of the story is not unique in the slightest. It's just another high school romance anime. But that in of itself, me calling it a romance anime manga, how many romance series do you know now that everything is a rom-com now? Everything is supposed to be a comedy and it doesn't focus on the actual romance segment of things. And I think although Insomniacs After School isn't too unique, again, in the plot, the premise, it's good in the execution of just the genre itself of romance.
That's a good way to put it. It's a good way to put it. It very much is. And it really sucks to see it end in the next chapter. Does it have like a rushed end, or is it going to be incomplete, or?
I would say being completely objective with it is not, I wouldn't say rushed is the word for it, but it's definitely, you could definitely see there being a waste of potential with the series for what it could have done with the story. So it's rushed isn't the word because it's not going to, where we are in the story now, if it ends or not, when it ends, I'm not going to be left feeling unsatisfied, but I will be feeling that, I wish you would have did this. I wish you would have did that. But I'm still going to be happy with the story overall. So that's why I would say with it ending, it's kind of premature, but it's not rushed. Rushed isn't the word I would use.
I'm out of prison now? Was I in prison while I was gone? Was that the lore?
Light Ruler, you missed a whole thing.
He kind of did, didn't he?
You missed the whole thing. You got to start from the beginning and then come back.
Yeah, you definitely have to. Philip says, just another high school romance anime is the long title of Mushoku Tensei.
Is it? It's going to be some things that we got to talk about with that anime.
Especially this episode. My goodness.
Yeah. Mushoku Tensei never ceases to be crazy and makes me hate it at the same time like it, and I don't understand it.
It's just so funny that this is where you come back. Like, I mean, like last episode would have been bad too, but this episode, I feel it's even worse. Like the talking points in this episode is worse than it was last episode. Actually,
yeah, it's going to be interesting to talk about when we get there, which looking forward to that.
Grandpa Storm just goes, is that what happened to your high school? Yeah, there was some crazy things that happened in this episode. I don't know if you should relate to that. Like, those days.
Oh, those days. I remember getting felt up by an elf and just going to town. Oh, yeah.
Sometimes you gotta be felt up by an elf. So let's go ahead and let's get into our first segment, which is Nakama Club. Let's talk about Fate Zero episodes 14 and 15.
Fate Zero. I remembered that anime. I felt like we were watching it at some point.
We may have.
Yeah, we may have.
Or maybe you're just imagining things.
I'll just say I was imagining things and I was on alcohol.
Yeah. Well,
yeah.
Do you remember who you liked in this show?
Yeah, I remember Ryder. I remember. I have a list right here. I have. Fuck. Uh-oh. I remember just Ryder, and then let's see. There's Galgamesh. Seba.
Vicky
is another one. Big Saber.
Billy,
who came up big in these freaking episodes. I'll tell you what. And yeah, there's like a whole bunch of people. Even with the names right there, I kind of forget who's who. But I just know these episodes 14 and 15 was just straight up action. Literally just blowing shit up. And that Berserk, sorry about the manga, by the way, but that freaking Berserker just, oh my god, just took over a whole jet and was just owning people.
We got to talk about the jet segment in general. Not it was so many weird things that happened with that. Not only is it weird just for us to have a jet fight, considering what we've seen of these mages and servants, because not to say that they aren't doing crazy things with swords that could eviscerate a being that could regenerate, pretty easily. But it's still odd that we had a airship versus jet battle. But
Yeah.
the part that I wanted to talk about, which was probably my favorite part in these 2 episodes, is the meta-ness of the guy saying, and I have the quote right here. He said, he says this at the beginning of the episode. I don't know who the hell even talks like this in real life, but it was just funny. He goes, if this was a monster movie, I guarantee we'd be the first to get killed off. Current races to set things up till the main character shows up.
Oh my
And
god.
then they fucking die later. Why did you set yourself up like that?
Yeah. That is literally the worst thing you could possibly do. It's just like, we're flying jets and everything. I don't want to jinx ourselves, but we could fucking die right now if there was a monster totally attacking us. You see what's down there? What? A monster. We're fucking dead.
It's so funny to me because usually people have the delusion that they're the main character of their story. They just were self-aware that they were side characters that were just there as fodder to make Castor more menacing. That was lovely.
Yeah, pretty much.
Thank you, Jet Fella. They had names. I wrote their names. Okay. So Jet Fella number 1, which is the one who I think said the prophecy. His name was Ogi, and then Jet Fella number 2, Kobayashi, was the first guy who died. So rest in
The
peace,
prophecy.
Ogi and Kobayashi.
The prophecy of jet fellas.
It really was a prophecy because they did die. It came true.
Man, I loved the whole jet thing. It's in the fake community, it's a big fan favorite moment, just because it's so fucking weird, but it's just so entertaining at the same time. Because it's like, a show about, masters and servants fighting each other with like swords and stuff. And then you just have like these two servants just take over a freaking jet. Or I guess Gilgamesh is his own flying throne. Like a flying throne room. That's what it looks like.
Yeah. I'm going to put you down, you dog. He's just following him, and Berserk's just going,
mongrel.
He's like throwing up the whole time. Just making noises.
I love Berserker in Fate Zero. One of the best Berserkers.
Yeah,
he's
all of them are pretty good,
badass.
but
yeah, I think all the Berserkers are good, but it's going to sound weird because of the Berserker that you get in Fate Stay Night. I just feel like he embodies Berserker more so than anybody else, because not only is he attacking people with the exception of Saber indiscriminately, his power is very chaotic as well, to the point where anything he touches is his noble phantasm. So he's just this crazy wild card. With the Berserker that you get in the Stay Night, he's also crazy, but he's tame because of Ilya. So
yeah, great, good. We haven't even seen the best parts of Berserker yet, in my opinion.
Oh, really?
At least in terms of his character. We may have seen like probably some of the best already in terms of his action scenes. We'll see, but because it's been a couple of years.
My favorite part is still just when he shows up and he sees Saber on the battlefield and he just starts shaking and he just goes insane. He just he really hates your waifus. See, why does he hate her so much?
The writer of this series hates Saber. Even why does everyone hate Saber suddenly? Saber's great.
That is true. There is a lot of Saber hate in Fate Zero.
Yeah, Urobochi, it's another thing in the Fate community. Urobochi, the writer of this, and like Madoka Magica and stuff, he like there is a stark contrast to the way Saber is presented in Fate Zero than in, say, Unlimited Blade Works, which is a more traditional presentation of the character. And a lot of people think he just hates Saber.
Yeah, I've heard that. A lot of people, the more Fate aficionados or the Fate purists when it comes to the light novel, or not light novel, visual novels, don't like Saber's portrayal in Zero. I wouldn't know because I don't play the visual novel. So
yeah, and also, see, you just came back from the dead and everything, but don't look at the chat.
Saber is trash, no cap. Okay, first of all, yeah. You're wrong. Saber actually is the best, okay? And that's no cap.
No cap.
Yo. Saber is litty like a titty, all right?
Oh, no. Think you killed her case.
No, I improved it. I just added value to Saber right there.
Freaking Saber has an OP attack. Speaking of Saber, she got her left arm back and did that shit. Holy crap.
Yeah. Excalibur is insane. It's one of the, if not the most powerful noble phantasm in the entire whole franchise. So
I can see that. Dang.
It's basically just a giant purifying beam. Just disintegrates anything.
Yeah, that kaiju did not stand a chance.
So what did you think about Lancer's sacrifice and him breaking his spear in order for Saber to land a final blow?
It goes with the whole, both of them are pretty noble and, they believe in honor and all that other stuff. But sometimes you got to put that to the side in order to defeat what's deemed like worse than that. So, yeah, that was pretty chivalrous, whatever you want to call it. He just broke his little Lancer in half and was just like, "You got it. Go ahead and take that bitch out."
Yeah.
And then they went on a date and they made out afterwards, I'm sure.
Yeah, they do a lot of flirting with their pride and chivalry. It's like
they really
every
do.
time they're just like, you're so honorable. No, Saber, you are the most honorable.
Oh, yeah? I'll be so honorable. I will take you out on a date. Ooh, how honorable of you. I'll get the check. No, I get the check. You
I feel like they would actually do that.
Find out or try to figure out who's going to pay for what. And then it would just end up being just nobody pays for it. It's like, guys, we're about to close. Someone going to pay that fucking bill?
You know what? I never thought about this being a viable ship just because my Yuri brain has always focused on Saber and Iris, but I think I don't hate that idea of those two, just simply not only because of the whole chivalry thing, but because specifically his power doesn't work on Saber. I think that may be a relationship where, for the first time ever, he doesn't have someone that's fallen in love with him simply because of his ability.
Yeah,
and that could be a cool thing for him.
Well, you just gave Nasu a bunch of ideas to make some side stories. I'm sure he's watching this and he's going, "Oh,
he's one of the six
finally.
Watching."
Yeah,
Nasu,
big fan of KOA. He is. But yeah, that's pretty much it for episode 14 for the most part.
Yeah.
It's basically just the conclusion to episode 13.
Well, okay. We also had the confrontation. We didn't conclude it in 14, but we got the meetup of Tokiyami.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And freaking
Natalia.
Scarface. He I don't know if he's gonna get more scarred up by the end of this series. Like, he's already got scars and bugs coming out of his ass, and it's just like, Yeah, he's.
Those bugs probably are coming out of his ass. I don't know if you meant to be facetious with that, but they may actually be coming out of his ass.
Could you imagine? Because he's just like, all right, bugs, attack.
Well, I can give you a bit of lore if you guys want me to.
That means yes. All right, come on. Tell us about the bug ass.
Well,
I don't know. I may want to eat.
Or ass bugs.
Well, Sakura in Fate, the next one, Unlimited Blade Works. Well, she has it in this too, but she grows up. She's like 15 or something like that in UBW, and I think it may be one of the routes in the visual novels, but I think I could be mistaken, but Shiro, when having sex with her, at one point says he can feel something in her.
Oh my god.
That could be just like me making that up through years and years of just like,
I feel something
folklore.
poking me. Do you have like pincers down there or something?
Also, the bugs look like dicks.
Why do the bugs
yeah.
look like dicks?
Makes sense.
How
Bug
it be.
penetration, I guess.
Yeah.
Everybody loves it.
But yeah,
But,
Tokiomi gets fucked up.
Wait,
Yeah, I'll see.
Tokiomi.
Lit on fire.
you mean Karya?
Oh yeah, Karya. Yeah. It's been.
because
I'm off my game. It's
I
gonna
mean,
take me
you
a while
have-
to warm back
You've
up.
been dead for a bit. It's okay.
yeah,
I can't remember how to do a podcast.
all good. Oh, but okay, so they have their conversation because their whole beef with each other is because it's been a while. So I'm not only just trying to clear up things, but for the chat too.
I mean,
Their whole beef with each other.
Well,
go ahead.
for example, I read Tokiomi as Kanye, so
Kanye West.
I was like, what?
Huh?
He created fate.
Maybe.
Yeah, no, I'm just reading the notes, and I just my brain saw Tokiomi and Karya as Kanye, and I'm like, what? Kanye?
What
So
you doing here? But so their whole beef with each other, Tokiyama and Karya was kind of the uncle figure to Rin and Sakura, and because Sakura was given, she was basically just passed off to the Mato family, and Tokiyami's hopes of her becoming a mage, because he gave his whole philosophy in the next episode to where he, in his mind, being a commoner is the worst thing you could do for his family because they come from a long line of they're great mages. They're a long line of family of mages. So he wants her to go to the Mato family because they're focusing all their efforts and training on Rin. So to get them both to be great mages, one is going to the Mato family, one is staying in the Tosaka family. And Karya resents that because he, of course, knows the treatment that Sakura's getting with her being thrown in a basement full of worms. So he wants to do something about it, and he has beef with Tokiyami. And he probably is kind of jealous of Tokiyami's wife as well. That's maybe. But so that's their beef with each other. And Tokiyami, on his side, he hates Karya because Karya is a person who abandoned the Mato family because he was supposed to be there. He was supposed to carry on a legacy, but he abandoned that just to live a normal life. So they're on the opposing sides of ideologies because Karya is a person who sees value in living life like a regular human, and Tokiyami is in a completely different world, the mage world, which doesn't value day-to-day life as we would or Karya would. So that's their beef with each other.
yeah. I have nothing else to add on this episode. You guys got anything?
Tokiyami called his wife superior breeding stock.
Well,
I don't think that's a good pickup line.
I don't
damn,
know.
girl, you're
Seems-
superior breeding stock.
Hey, yo, girl, let me objectify you.
Like this guy's like even if you buy into his ideology of what a maid should be, him calling his wife superior breeding stock is just like you're a bad dad, bad husband. I mean, he's good mage, I guess you could say.
Mm-hmm.
He's also like a terrible person too. He's kind of a cheater as well because he's having the priest hold his hand in all of this and giving him information that other people aren't privy to. So
Yeah,
kind of a cheater.
I'd say that's cheating.
Yeah.
I guess if there was one thing I would want to add, it says that one guy got shot and died when he was the one that was the psycho serial killer. He was, yeah, Ryunosuke. The thing he was searching for was inside him all along. The most cliche thing you could possibly think of, but he got a bullet in the chest, bullet in the head. That couldn't ask for a better death for a creep like that.
Yeah,
Poor
it was.
guy.
It was so funny too because it happened in the aftermath of him being horny in public. He's just big guy. Oh, you're gonna be murdering so many people, and then Kiritsugu just stop. He's the horny police. Boing, boing.
It's so beautiful. I love myself bleeding and dying.
Yeah, Castor was sad about that. Yeah. But
I actually liked his death though. I thought Ryunosuke's death it came out of it just fit for the character.
Yeah.
Hey, he knows how to die.
Yeah.
He does it well.
Kind of want to see it again.
That character. Perfect.
Mm-hmm.
He should be like a lancer as well.
He should also come onto this channel.
He could do that.
Well, I mean, he does watch the show.
Yeah, he's one of the 6.
Yeah.
One's a fate writer, the other one's a famous voice actor. The other 4 is just Decrepit Storm and Light Ruler. And Philip and QRW6.
Yeah, so you guys may want to say hi to those guys. It might be your only chance to say something to them. They watch the podcast religiously.
Well, can you stop making Fate Grand Order, please? Thank you. Just never touch that series again.
Yeah.
Or that franchise.
He just left.
Yeah. Oh, and we won't forget about you, Carp.
Well,
it's good, Carp.
In episode 15 is when we see the end of pretty much a really just big, like almost Fortnite Battle Royale moment. Castor dies. That's
pretty awesome.
Gilgamesh and Berserker end their jet fight.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's just really it's really, honestly, I think one of the best episodes in the series. Just because the previous episodes build up so well to it. What do you guys think?
Yes. So, I mean, we talked about it briefly, but before Saber gets off that, her Excalibur, it's just so funny because she was setting up to do it, and then right then and there, Berserker sees her, and he's just hating so much. He's just
how dare you use that sword?
How dare you? How dare you exist? He just started going crazy on her. And it got to a point where they had to jump. They literally had to jump Berserker because they were like, "Stop it, you idiot. For 1 second, can you just stop?" So like Lancer, jumps on the jet, and then Gilgamesh, it's not a final blow because it's not like he died, but he hits him to where it stops him in his tracks, and then they're able to actually focus on Castor.
Goonie Tunes, interesting name in the chat.
Hello,
says,
Goonie.
C, have you seen Fate Strange Fake? It's amazing. I have. I did a video on it. I thought it was really, really good. I think it's most similar to this, actually. I think especially if you've never seen any other Fate besides Fate Zero, and maybe you're watching it for this or whatever, you can pick Fate Strange Fake right up after, and
Fate Strange Fake. Why is it called
so
that?
it's basically a fake Holy Grail war. They basically manufacture one. And it has, for example, like Gilgamesh is in it. They have
you mongrel.
Dude, they may have the Crazy Caster in it. They also have like Enkidu.
Is Saber in it?
Saber, there is a Saber in it. There is a Saber face.
But it's not the Saber.
No, it's not the Saber.
Wow. That's isn't that a first?
No, they have a bunch of other spin-offs in Fate that don't have Saber in it.
Shows you what I know.
But there's the like Arturia, but they always have a Saber. Always a blonde heroine who's the most powerful. There's always that in there.
Speaking of which, I'm sorry to cut you off. Caster was talking about a blonde-haired girl, and it showed. Isn't that the one that you said that's actually a trap?
No, that's John Dark. That's not the person.
Oh, okay. There's a trap, right?
That's the one with the pink hair.
Yeah, that's a Apocrypha.
Oh, okay.
That's a Astolfo, which is one of my favorite characters in the entire series for no reason.
They're in the same series, the same fate, but yeah, different characters.
Yeah, John Dark and Astolfo are both in Apocrypha together. And John Dark is basically a Saber face, which means basically they reused Saber's actual face and blonde hair and just made another character out of it.
It looks like it. To be honest, just gave her a little crown or something.
Yep, pretty much.
Yeah. And just for like somebody better could explain this, but just like a slight tie-in as to why he's so obsessive of John Dark, like I guess like real world history, because Caster's Bluebeard, and he was a serial killer, French serial killer. He's based on a folktale, I believe, but John Dark was an actual saint way before his time, I believe, or at least the time he was created. And she was a French saint who was disgraced for hearsay, and was burned at the stake. So he probably
hear voices, right?
I don't know exactly what it was. I think they said that she did something against the church or something.
For some reason, I thought like the whole story was that she heard voices and she claimed that they were the voices of God, and heaven forbid you talk about anything about God back then, you get burned.
It may have been actually that they thought that or they made those claims against her and they were false. I think that's where it may
I'm probably getting it mixed up.
Wasn't there something about her being promiscuous too?
I wouldn't be surprised if they said that.
Yeah, maybe she was.
Slander. I don't know.
I'd have to look it up. I don't remember.
From what I've seen though, of what I looked up, they said that those claims were false after the fact. After they killed her.
Right. After she burnt and her charred remains are just smoldering still. It's like, sorry, we messed up.
We may have got that wrong. My bad.
My bad. It's the earlier version of canceling.
Sort of
cancel culture back then.
That was the actual cancel culture, because that was just you're left-handed.
Yeah, and the Salem witch trials. Fuck, you sneeze the wrong way. She's a witch. Burn her. Yeah. History. Fun thing to learn about how crazy we really are.
I mean, the fact that we have so many torture methods, it should tell you something about humanity.
Yeah. I mean, you go to any Renaissance festival, they'll teach you all about the torture devices. It's literally, I think, over hundreds of devices. It's like, that many? God damn.
Yeah. For sure. But Yeah, that was pretty much that episode. Oh no. There was one important thing that happened besides the Saber caster stuff, and so we talked about Karya and why am I forgetting his name? Um I gotta
Scarface?
look up his name. No, Karya is Scarface. Uh Tokiomi.
Yes.
Tokiomi. We talked about their fight because Tokiomi uses fire, super effective against the bug user Karya. He falls down, and Kotomine is witnessing this whole thing. He didn't do anything, but afterwards, after that fight, when he's on the floor writhing in pain, he has a chance to kill him. And before he actually does it, he thinks about what Gilgamesh said, which Gilgamesh in their conversation, just to kind of condense what he actually said, it was basically him talking about, or Gilgamesh questioning, what are Kotomine's passions? What drives him? Why do you do the things that you do? And basically, he was breaking down his like robotic and methodical method, because with him, it's just I do what my father tells me. I'm doing the right thing. I'm doing this for the good of whatever. But he doesn't actually chase what he wants to do. So in that moment, after he thinks about Gilgamesh's words, he doesn't kill him. Instead, he heals him. And it's like, okay, cool. And then, but as he's healing him, and when Karya is like, crying out of pain, the first time or one of the few times that you see a genuine smile from him. So
Yeah. What do you guys think about that?
I think he's dipped his toe in the water. Now he's going to do more. And I don't know what that is. Maybe he's going to get himself a woman. Or maybe or dude, whatever. I mean,
he already has.
He wants to experiment.
In the lore, he already. Of
course he has.
I think they mention it in this too.
They did.
Okay. Well, basically, he has a wife and a kid. Yeah, I don't think they're alive by the time this series happens.
Oh, is that why he got to the way that he was? Was he just always that charming?
I don't know.
Being a stone.
I never read about it, so all I do know is that he has a wife and a child. And the wife was, I think, a homunculus like Iris Feel, and she had like a bunch of her body parts removed for various reasons. Yeah. Detachable organs. They're great.
Mm-hmm. Got a couple myself. But and then besides that, Gilgamesh is happy that, after seeing, he's a little horny after he sees Saber do what she does.
Yeah.
Ryder isn't too impressed. He still is calling Saber a little girl. And if you don't remember Ryder's beef with Saber, I guess the easiest way to say this is that Ryder rejects Saber's ideal of what a king is, which is basically just martyrdom, just sacrificing yourself for the good of everybody. Whereas Ryder is a person who is more so imposing his will on the people. He believes that's what a king is, the individual kind of he's serving the people more so than he's a servant to the people, which is what Saber is or was.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why he has his beef with Saber.
Yeah, I think he's jealous now because she got like a big ass sword attack, and he's just like, all I got are these fucking horses,
I mean, he has the reality marble, where he has a lot of his homeboys.
That is true. He did have the monster get inside the reality marble for like however long till they made a plan. Mm-hmm. So that's something. Well, now all the homies are gone. I think I feel like they couldn't take the giant monster anymore.
Just like the Jet fellas, they're all gone.
Yeah, now. Yeah. If only the Jet Fellows didn't predict the future.
He needs Jet Fellas in this reality Marvel. They would actually thrive there. That's a place where they could be good.
Yeah. Could you imagine if he had like 10,000 Jet Fellows or 100,000 just hero?
Yeah, it's
like,
not really much you can do.
Jets.
Especially because you're going to be in a desert, so you're easy pickings basically for anybody with tech. So if he had modern tech with his reality Marvel, not saying he would be like the most powerful guy ever, but he would probably beat anybody that was just standard like humanoid combat. Like Lancer probably wouldn't stand that much. Not this Lancer. Maybe the other Lancer would have did good, but this Lancer, I don't know if he would have did good in that situation. You see what he did to Assassin. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't feel like the Assassin has contributed anything to the show other than dying. It's the only thing they've done.
Yeah. Well, no, they may have. Did they do something at the very beginning?
Yeah, they died. Gilgamesh was just like, "Oh, you with my sword."
Oh, they were used as a pawn. That one scene. That's about the only useful thing they did. And even then, one of them had to die.
How good. Right. Look at how good they did. They were a pawn then. In fact, you know what? I'm going to say this right now. Assassin did nothing but show us how OP these other characters were. You saw the Gates of Babylon, and then you saw the Marble. So, what's next? You know, Assassin's going to... Sure, okay. That's a fair argument. but it's like... there's really nothing else other than... I mean, I'm waiting for someone else to show up to be like... I don't know. Assassins are kind of like the Team Rocket of this universe. It's like, we're going to defeat all of these people. Oh shit, we died. We're blasting off. Yeah. Sorry, but this version of Assassin is lame.
You will love Assassin of Fate, Stay Night. That Assassin is cool.
All right.
And he's actually based on a historical figure that you may know.
Yeah, what? I can't
depending
remember
on how he Seshiro, I believe.
Yeah, he's interesting in history because a lot of
Or was it Miyamoto?
It may have been Miyamoto. No, Miyamoto is the girl with the big boobs in the American bikini.
Oh. Okay, never mind.
I can't remember, but I know it's... Yeah, not people know much about him because a lot of his history has been erased, but his Noble Phantasm is actually based off his real-life sword swallow technique, where it makes it, like, the way he developed it was... where, like, it looked like he had, like... Basically, he struck once, but he was so quick he was able to strike 3 times in that time it took to strike once.
Damn.
And he could cut the head. Yeah, he was so fast he could cut the head of a swallow off.
Like the bird?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Swallow this. Like some cheesy action movie.
Yeah, I think he was like jumped by a bunch of shogun and samurai. Damn.
Yeah, I'd be curious to see that one. I mean, yeah, if you're gonna get somebody, get them while they ain't looking. Hell, get them while they're swallowing.
This is true.
It's true. What is this here, Satsuki? It says saber-based Gilgamesh long and hard. How will C respond?
I wanted to know how that made you feel.
Well, okay, well, first of all, Gilgamesh, he has like negative Riz, okay? He can never land saber. So, he should try harder. Second of all, I deny the allegations.
What allegations would that be?
Oh, you know. You know the allegations.
Sure.
Of him putting a hole through his table.
Actually,
I wasn't aware of that one.
Actually, I did that once. No lie.
Damn.
I was bored, so I drilled a hole in a table.
Oh.
It's like
Nothing
a
like
teenager.
drilling a
what?
hole.
With what?
With a drill. What do you mean? What else would I drill a hole with?
With your drill.
Well, yeah, my drill. Yeah, I had a drill.
The drill.
Yeah.
We still have that drill.
The B drill?
I would hope you still had that drill.
Well, is that it for Fate Zero?
A lot of flirting. A lot of flirting.
A lot of flirting, a lot of action. Like, I feel like it took till us getting to this core, or it's not, I guess not technically a season 2, it's just this second core, where it's just a lot of nonstop action. I'm all for it. I mean, I get the talking's there for us to build character development, story, plotline, whatnot, but I don't know. I felt like there was a point where it just got a little too much, but then we just jumped into this as Sayueda became Jesus and walked on water. Yeah, that's...
Yeah, and that's the format of all the good Fate series. First season is talking. Second season is just balls to the wall action.
Nice.
So
I'm all for it.
Midnight in the chat said, low key, I'm going to miss my crazy killing boys. They were such a vibe. And so I guess he's referencing Ryunosuke and Caster. Good riddance to that duo.
Yeah. Nothing good came from them.
Yeah. Midnight said, Ryu said it himself. What they were doing was wrong. If what they were doing was wrong, God would have done something to them. But he just let them live their best life. It's a philosophy I've heard many times over. If there is a God, then
Let him
this
strike
wouldn't
me
exist.
down. Yeah. I've heard that too.
Yeah.
But,
strike me down, Zeus. You don't have the balls.
that's what Kratos is saying. There. You do not have the balls to strike me down. I guess you did. Fuck.
Yeah, Fate, we back.
All right.
We back, Fate. We back, Fate.
Now let's get into the main show here, and let's talk about Mushoku Tensei. Let's talk about it. Indeed, I'm very conflicted over this episode.
Oh God,
that's what it is. Like, the only reason he's going to this damn magical... First of all, his mother... Is he looking for his mother? Oh, yeah, she's fine. Fuck it, I'll go to school. And now, all of a sudden, in order to get my dick erect, I gotta go to school.
Yeah, he needs therapy. He doesn't need to, like, hang out with this Ellie
Seriously.
Elise girl. Or, you know, I say Soldat. I would rather hang out with Soldat than Ellie Elise.
Well, oh my God, I'm going to actually defend erectile dysfunction being used in the anime. So I get what EA is saying. I wouldn't call the ED a plot device. It is definitely a motivator, but it's more so because what they did was, because if it came out of nowhere, then it's a plot device. But where it came from was this deep rooted, and we talked about last episode where I thought it was kind of clunky how they did it, but I understand what they were going for. It's this deep rooted, I guess, fear of rejection that Rudy has when it comes to women because of what happened with Eris. It all roots back to that. So the erectile dysfunction is a result of him just, not, or the girls that he's being involved with not being Eris, and again, him being just afraid because he can't get it up in any type of situation, no matter what it is, no matter if he finds them attractive or whatnot. So
yeah, he's afraid of rejection.
But so since there's a foundation for it, I wouldn't say it's a plot device, but it's just the reason why it's just so weird is how the execution of it.
Yeah,
because he goes to talk to the I don't even remember if he had a name. I'm just calling him bald white man. That's
Mr.
the best
Clean.
name I got.
Stone Cold
Mr.
Steve
Clean.
Austin.
Stone Cold Steve Austin. He talks to Stone Cold Steve Austin, and Stone Cold Steve Austin is doing an annoying voice and guiding him and whatnot, and they make it a point to motivate Rudy, or the thing that actually moves him is not his mother, but the erectile dysfunction. Oh, that's what made it clunky, because they bring it to a serious tone where they're talking about his mother and him wishing to bring back his family and him not wanting to go to the school. And then he's like, no, but you got to go to the school, because if you don't, then bad may happen. Wink, wink. And then he's like, oh yeah, and you can solve your erectile dysfunction.
And he turned into a fucking god and just ascended into the heavens. I wanted to punch the screen.
Yeah.
I was literally just like, really? This is what passes as entertainment these days? No, I'm kidding. But just nothing but just the I don't know. I did not like that transition at all. I definitely hear what you're saying, Sasuke, because it's not something that came out of nowhere. You're right. It was something carried on from the previous episode. I guess I just didn't like how that was just a reason for him to want to go to the school. You know what I mean? Like, I think if it was one of those, well, let's have you, better yourself. If you go to the school, you will actually learn something, and you'll reunite with old Sylphie and everything. So that'll be fine. Something like that. But no, we have to hammer hard that this boy is floppy as a wet noodle. We can't just make it about. We can't make it natural to where he'll just naturally better himself and he'll get over his ED. I guess is what I didn't like.
And just to clarify for anybody, we know that there was other motivators in him going to the school, because he also mentioned, Stone Cold Steve Austin mentioned, that he could find out the mystery of the mass teleportation. So the ED thing wasn't the only thing that was motivating him. It's just that the focus on it made it seem as if Rudy cared about that the most. That's what kind of made the scene weird for me.
Mm-hmm.
But
Agreed.
Besides that, we keep time skipping the hell out of everything.
Yeah.
2 years have passed since the last episode. And I already
Mhm.
complained about the last episode and the passage of time, because they made the whole thing that was going on with Sarah just weird, because there was no time focusing on these characters and their relationship. And then they basically do the same thing with Soldat, where we got some interactions between these two in previous episodes, but did we get interactions from them for us to feel sad at their departure? Or no, not really.
No, not really. What was the last thing he said? He was like, hey, when you come back, we'll sex it up and drink. It's just like, that's all this character is known for, is just having sex and drinking. That's all we know him as.
Carp asks in the chat, have any of you guys read the light novel?
No.
I'm not.
I am an anime only.
Yeah.
No.
I was actually talking with Carp about this. I think Mushoku Tensei's strength isn't its characters at all. I think it's the world and basically everything but the characters. I even think the writing, in terms of not like the character writing, because that's one of the reasons why I dislike the characters, but in terms of the way they just write the plot and without all the character stuff is also really good. And it's quite a shame to a degree, but also at the same time, I found myself not minding too much right now, and that could be just because we are in season 2. We're at the beginning of the season, but I don't think it's going to get any better. I think it's pretty much just going to be this throughout
Yeah.
the entire thing. We're probably just going to have cool moments, some really, you know, because this show's still really good at doing moments. I imagine we're going to have lots of great twists, but yeah, I'm not looking forward to Ellie Nalise or Soldat.
I think the issue right now is that we don't have a stable side cast right now.
Yeah, that's
I mean,
true.
we at least had that in Mushoku Tensei, or in the first season of Mushoku Tensei,
Yeah,
where
we don't have
you know,
any
we
of
had to warm up. We had to warm up to Eris, but we had Eris for us to, you know, be there and kind of take pressure off from Rudy, because since it's all it's not all Rudy, because there's other characters that has been involved, but these characters are basically going through this revolving door because he's just adventuring with them. They spend their episode with them and then they leave. They don't leave a lasting impression. And I think he needs a stable, and we're probably going to get that with the school, a stable side cast. We're probably going to have Sophie be involved in this more. I'm not really a big fan of Sophie, but at least that'll be somebody else that can, you know, so they won't have to focus on Rudy.
How does she still have her white hair? Like, doesn't that turn green at a certain point?
I think it was stress.
I think it just turned white permanently when she teleported.
I think it was the stress of knowing she was like gonna die, and
I guess she's got to shave her head and have the roots grow green. You know, we gotta get the green look back.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Bald anime girl. We haven't seen that. That would look different. Decrepit Storm says,
I'm trying to think.
I mean, we got the girl from Ocean Cole, but that's because she was dying.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Jesus, I will assist.
Well, Decrepit Storm says, I feel like they could have easily had him go there for a better reason, but no, we have to bring in the god and have this happen. And Philip says they previewed the Scooby Gang in the last minute of the episode.
Is that Scooby Gang?
Yeah, I think it's Scooby Gang.
Hey gang, let's find a mystery. Roll, Raggy.
Whoa.
Yeah, I just like, I don't really mind the ED plot point at all. I think that's fine. Just because, like, I can tolerate, like, for example, I can sort of tolerate the underwear thing now, because I can go, oh, that's just stupid, and ignore it. And I think it's the same thing with ED. But what I can't ignore is Ellie Nalise. This character has got to go.
Oh my god.
She
is terrible.
I never thought I'd ever see it in any kind of show, for that matter, where she actually pays, she fucks people's brains out and then pays them to not fall in love.
That was a cool little thing. Like, that was very...
She's a reverse prostitute.
Yeah, that's genuinely, I think that's cool of her character. However, the character is annoying. That's the issue. Like, it's not the fact that she sleeps with everyone. Yeah, it's just, she's annoying. Like, and I think as well, it makes it worse because so far it feels like they're kind of forcing her into it, because they want people to have some sort of fan service thing going on for the fans that want that. And
I mean,
I don't know. And like, what's going to happen is we're going to have, like, anytime, and this is what I hate as well. For some reason, Mushoku Tensei fans like this character, and they'll defend her as saying, oh, you just don't know her story yet. You don't know why she's like this. Missing the point.
Right. The first time we ever see her character ever in Mushoku Tensei, she's having an orgy.
Yeah, and it's not the fact that she has orgies. Like, let me try to describe this. Her being slutty is totally okay. That's not the issue. The issue isn't that we don't know her backstory and that we don't know why she is the way she is. No matter what they say, I will probably accept that and be like, okay, all right, fair. However, the issue here is that she's annoying and terrible and a bad character, and I just don't want to. I don't want to spend any more time with this character than I have to. And I feel like they're just going to try to put her in this just to, I don't know. I think because they're doing so like many anime original episodes, why not do an anime original cut her out moment? You know?
Oh my god. Well, I we've seen this a whole bunch of times where there's a character that may have huge significance later on, or they may have a backstory that you can sympathize with and whatever. I always tell fans that have an issue with other people having an issue with a character or certain plot points that happen within the story. You got to think of the bubble in which we can see the story. Where with this character specifically, every scene we've seen of her, or I won't say every scene, I'll say practically every scene we've seen of her is just her sleeping with a lot of men. And the only thing we get from her character because of that is that she's a whore. That's it. There's nothing, and you don't have to keep showing her sleeping with people to emphasize that point. We got it.
We get it.
Yeah, it's just like the same thing that I have an issue with.
She likes the dick.
It's too overt.
Yeah, it's like the whole thing when they show that Rudy is a pervert. It gets to a certain point where we understand it. You don't have to keep honing in on that. We got it. We didn't. A lot of her scenes in this episode was unnecessary. You could show her doing that once or twice, but we need to see her do this 5 different times. I don't know.
Let us analyze the way she does doggy.
Also, yeah, it's also like those scenes are really weird too, because it's like there's like some scenes where Rudy's just listening to them going at it. And like, I don't know about you, but that's not relatable. If I was in that situation, I wouldn't sit there and try to be turned on by it. Even if I did have ED, I'd get ED from that. I would get angry. I'd throw shit at them. I like take like a 25-pound weight and I'd throw it at her head.
See, here's the thing about her, because I understand men being horny and wanting to fuck her or whatever, but I feel that the novelty of her will wear off pretty quick once everybody knows she's sleeping with everybody.
Right.
Just for the risk that she poses with STDs and things of that nature, because my God.
Yeah, she's doing everyone and everything.
I'm surprised she's not pregnant.
Maybe she is.
I guess
with 1,000 babies.
Also, yeah. I swear to God, if Ellie Nalise starts to fall for Rudy, I'm gonna have a conniption. Like, I can't take it.
The thing is, the only thing that was really holding her back in doing something with Rudy is her dislike for Paul. That was really it, because she was already being flirty with him when they first met.
And in this episode, she slept in a bed with him naked. Like, what is going on with her?
Isn't he a teenager now?
He's still a teenager, yeah.
Yeah. I feel because 2 years passed, he grew his little freaking ponytail out like Paul, and yeah. I guess he's a teenager.
Oh my God, she's going to university.
Oh no.
Come on, boys, let's make a line.
I got this. I got the perfect sound.
I'm saddened.
Yeah, that. Well, on a good note, it did have a really. This episode had a cool moment of Rudy being OP and killing a dragon by himself. That looks pretty cool.
Yeah, that was like with the beginning scene of it.
Yeah, and that was like one of the best parts of the show. And then after that, it just turned into a fucking downhill, just fucking. Oh, we're tumbling after. Yeah.
I wonder if that was shown to give us an idea of the power scaling that exists with Rudy, because we know he's powerful, but it's hard to get a gauge of how powerful he is because of how the power varies. Like 2 years ago, Soldat was obviously stronger than Rudy because of how he fared against those monsters in the cave, right? And it's not until we get moments like that where we can finally go, okay, Rudy's at this level, because in the beginning, Rudy's such a prodigy that it's everybody's gushing about his talents, and then if he loses something, we just go, of course, because he's a kid. But now that he's growing up, I think that was just a way to put a scale, or mark him somewhere on a scale, because I don't think we seen anybody fight the red dragon specifically, but there was a scene where we saw the dragon god scare away a red dragon. So that doesn't really tell us much about what Rudy's strength is, because he also gave the caveat that the red dragon was dying, it was half dead and whatnot.
True.
But it is showing that he's made significant progress, because that was something that even Soldat himself, who again 2 years prior was stronger than Rudy, he couldn't do that and was prepared to run away. And Rudy did that single-handedly. So shows you the growth and power.
Yeah, and apparently he has been bulking up, working out.
Yeah.
To make up for his loss of Eris. He just jogs in the morning going, Eris! Push-ups.
Burnt her ponytail too. So he's trying to move on, and that's how you know, because if he's working out like that, his ED, he shouldn't have ED. So it's definitely because of Eris he has ED.
Yeah, absolutely. Which I don't know. Ghislaine's right there, man. I mean,
also,
is she?
She could be dead now. You're right. I don't know.
Oh.
Also, Soldat. What an asshole.
Soldat. Is he an asshole?
I think he's that much of an asshole, to be honest.
I think he's I do think he's sort of an asshole. But
he may be rough around the edges.
I think he's way better than Ellie Nalise.
Well, that goes without saying.
I mean, I think fucking the sponge here is better than her.
Yeah, that's true. I don't know. Maybe it's a out of left field opinion, but I wasn't impressed by him this episode. I don't know. Once again, better than Ellie Nalise, but I think it's just another. This stems from the issue with me where it's just, I don't like any of these characters in this season so far. I don't even really like Rudy, and I think he's probably my favorite. I think the stuff we got with Sylphie, I want to see more Sylphie stuff.
I mean, yeah, Rudy has just been the best character in the series by default. I mean, the only character that was kind of likable was the lady that was helping him. I forgot her name. But it was Sarah's mentor that we saw in episode 1. Yeah. She was nice, but we didn't really get much from her, so it's kind of hard to say any glowing things about her. But Soldat's whole thing for me was he just wanted honesty, because he could tell that Rudy was being fake and not true to himself. So he's somebody that the one flaw I give him is when he punched the guy in the face.
Yeah.
He was like, "Oh, you're trying to take my prey," and he punched him in the face. He's very impulsive, like that. But I think he's
impulsive.
Oh. No.
We'll be here all night.
But yeah, he has compassion to him, because one scene I liked from him, when it was last episode when Rudy was going through his depression, and Sarah overhears him and she runs away. He's about to kill himself. He swats away the knife. Rudy is, lashing out at him, and he just takes it. Actually, even before then, because Rudy was wailing on him, and he just took it because he understood the emotions that he was going through, and he just sat there, drank with him, and tried to fix it. He got him a prostitute, and he tried to work through it. Yeah. So saw that he's cool with me. He's probably, actually, now that I think about it, he's probably the second best character thus far. We at least got way more with him than any other character.
True.
But Ellie and Lise, whatever her name is, I'm not looking forward to her being in this duo. I don't like this duo.
Yeah,
this may be the worst duo in Mushoku Tensei.
This is like in the WWE when they have like these random tag teams, like John Cena and Shawn Michaels. Like what? No.
Yeah, it doesn't really work unless it's MJF and Adam Cole. Then it works.
Yeah.
But the only thing I thought of when this episode ended was because they're essentially, I'm assuming it's going to be at this damn magic school for the remainder of the season. And the only thing that came to my mind is, my name is Deku, and I'm about to become the strongest superhero ever. But instead, it's what's her face going, my name is Annalise, and I'm going to become the strongest whore ever.
I mean, this is basically her hunting grounds. She's in the university.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
They're probably all virgins. If not 99% of them.
Not for long.
Right. Like I said, there's going to be a line. People are going to be doing it. She's going to be like giving money to each and every single person that comes, literally. And then it's going to just be, Rudy reuniting with Sylphie, and I feel like we saw a couple of unwanted characters, and I'm just like,
Carp says in the chat,
I don't know.
There are a lot of hateable characters in the light novel, and I believe him.
Yeah, I believe it.
I feel like that's
Rudy's one of them.
Yeah. I don't think Rudy's really hateable, but I do agree.
Yeah, not hateable. I wouldn't say hateable. I just
unlikable, maybe.
Yeah, that's a good word. Unlikable.
If we're doing wrestling comparisons, he's like the Miz of this show. I want to just punch him in the face.
It's a pretty good comparison.
Yeah. Like, we can respect the work the Miz put in, right? And we sort of want him to win sometimes.
Yeah.
But just please get him off my TV.
Oh man.
So that it for Mushoku Tensei.
Think so.
Onward and upward.
Yeah, so this new layout is confusing me. Let's now talk about Rurouni Kenshin. I've
been looking forward to this.
Yeah, have you guys been talking about it?
Oh yeah, we have been talking about it. What me and Sasuke were looking forward to was your opinion about it, since this is your pick, and also you know, I feel like you would have more insight on this than we would, because we're first-time viewers.
I do. The reason I picked this show is actually to talk about on the show what you guys think about the author, and if it's right to even watch this show, given what he's done and really what has not happened to him in return. If you don't know, the creator of Rurouni Kenshin, not too long ago, actually, probably right as the production for this series likely started, I think, or at least the idea of him doing this, he was caught with a lot of CP, like a lot, and he was engaging with it. He was funding it, like buying it, not like filming it or anything.
Oh God, I was about to say.
He was
Damn.
like, I mean, he's still kind of a shithead, and they found out he was caught, and he was given literally the equivalent of a slap on the wrist, like, oh, just don't do that again, whatever. And then he turns around and makes this, and he's directly profiting from it. He was a key figure behind this series, and originally I was going to pick this show, but I thought it would be interesting to pick it just because it has some weird energy around it because of that, and I think it's quite unique, and I think it makes the experience unique to watch this week to week. But first of all, I mean, my question to you guys is, what do you guys think about what the creator of Rurouni Kenshin has done?
So you want to go ahead again?
I'll just make it short and sweet. You know, I've said this to Sasuke before, and I'll just say it again, that it's definitely disgusting. It's you know, with the CP and everything, nasty. It's a shame that kind of like a series like this that's so highly regarded as being like one of the best has to be kind of like have this weird aura around it. But I also feel as if you know, kind of like separate the art from the artist, you can kind of like watch it as it is, but at the same time, you are funding this sicko at the same time, so it's kind of one of those, you know, what can you do? But you know, we're already doing our part by not funding them, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, Crunchyroll sure as shit ain't funding them either, so that's one situation.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because Crunchyroll don't pay people shit for streaming. It's a big issue.
You're kidding me. I thought they...
Very little.
I thought wow. I thought that was the whole point behind Crunchyroll, was to give the money back to Japan so that they can make more, but...
Yeah, that's like maybe 5 cents.
Wow. Well, I guess that goes without saying then.
Yeah. Now, as for my opinions, going into this, you know, as a Rurouni Kenshin fan, very excited for this actually, because I'm like, oh, it's getting for the first time ever, this is going to be getting a full adaptation. It didn't before. The classic anime series finished maybe after the first arc, or maybe in the middle of the second. So we never got the stuff that this series is actually famous for. So basically the series is divided up into 3 arcs. The first arc is like villain of the week. Like very old, you know, way of doing things. Sort of, it has like a, I don't know, just a really outdated feel to it, in my opinion, with the writing and the way characters presented and introduced and the episode structure. However, the second act is really where the series took off. It stopped being a villain of the week. It became like a really, really, really well-written story with amazing villains, amazing characters, and just a really unique story that really has no bearing on the original, like the first arc. And the same for the third arc. The third arc is apparently even better, and is really what cemented it in many people's minds as one of the all-time greats, and sadly made the author one of the all-time greats despite what he would later do. However, I'm of 2 minds for this adaptation. One, I think it's outdated, horribly outdated in terms of story. Number 2, I think it's too generic. I think the character designs look way too generic. I think Kenshin looks fine. I also don't like the voice actress for... What's her name? Oh, main girl. Kaoru, yes. I don't think her voice actress fits as well as it probably should. And honestly, I would have much preferred if they went in terms of just the art style in the Mushoku Tensei direction, where it's using more production styles and techniques from the 90s. because I think it really suits this series well to have that. However, this doesn't really stop me from enjoying this show. Like, it's outdated and old, but like I'm what most people are waiting for is the second arc, because it's going to be getting a full adaptation. People really want that, and I really want to see that, because I've seen the original series a couple times, and yeah, sure, they cut out some of the really good filler stuff that was in the original, which is another thing. The original creator of this, he cut out a lot of stuff. He changed things around. This is basically his do-over. This is what he wants it to be after all these years, which is cool. So going into this, it's basically the same thing as the original, pretty much. Like, they changed some things around. It looks a little bit better, but it's the exact same thing. And this is not really what I'm excited for. So when I watch this every week, I'm just kind of like, can we get past this? So right now we're just really in the character introduction phase. We're getting to know these characters and kind of the world of Kenshin and the politics and the climate of the Meiji era. So like, my opinions on her are kind of like, it's so far it's like a 6 or a 7, but not in like a bad way. It's like I'm waiting because I know it gets better kind of way. So it's kind of like there's an excitement in the air when I watch this, because I know we're gonna get to the good stuff eventually. Just we got to get through this stuff. But I really wish he would have, if he would have went back and rewrote this stuff, I really wish he would have done two things. I wish he would have rewrote this early section, because we already have it adapted, and as well, more fight scenes, get some choreographers in there to somebody get a couple people that work on Fate and at UFO table, and get them over here to, maybe, brainstorm some ideas on some really cool fight scenes that we don't really, because Kenshin really isn't known for its fight scenes, like in terms of its production values or the stuff like that. It's very basic 90s manga and anime kind of stuff. So yeah, I'm just waiting. Honestly. Other than that, what do you guys think about Kenshin, especially this episode?
Well, I want to say I like Yahiko. I would adopt Yahiko. That's my nephew.
New nephew?
Yeah, new nephew. Very cheeky brat. Kind of an asshole, but he has a lot of heart, which that's the part I like about him.
He's Naruto.
He is Naruto-ish. He definitely has some of those qualities about Naruto in him.
Believe it.
Yeah. He's just, anybody that's in front of him, he's willing to speak his mind, and I respect that about him. And it seems, I don't know if this is going to be a plot point, but it seems like he has it may be something with his past, maybe like a drunk dad or something, but it seems that he has a particular issue with drunk people, because this is the second time that, the first time is when he recognized that the guys who were originally in Kaoru's they were under her dojo, they came back drunk and brought problems with them, and he was able to identify that they were the issue and they were drunk. And we had these drunk guys in this episode where they throw the fucking bottle at Kenshin's head. My whole thought when I seen that wasn't they just hit Kenshin in the head. My thought was, what the fuck were they aiming for? The guy was point blank range. How did you miss?
I mean, you'd be surprised what you'd miss if you're drunk.
That's true, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's like, all right, I'm gonna totally sink this shot. You totally fucking missed. Ah.
More drinks.
And then they got mad at the kid. They got mad at the kid for rightfully being angry with them. And then they just slapped the waitress. What's wrong with these guys?
Yeah, they're terrible.
Yeah.
They're supposed to be about democracy and freedom and rights and all that, and they're like, "Give me more drink, wench." Ah, yeah, typical, stereotypical. Just they're drunk. They're about to, start trouble. Gee, I wonder what's gonna happen. Introduction to, fuck with his name.
Zanza.
Zanza?
Zan.
I think it's Zanza.
Zanza. No.
Rolls off the tongue.
Or
Zanza,
Sagara.
Zanza.
Sagara works as well.
He's pretty strong.
He's a bit of a tank.
Yeah, he took a hit from Kenshin and got back up. I mean, that's the first time we've seen someone get back up from one of his hits, so he's definitely not a lightweight, and it's probably going to take Kenshin to use more than just one of his hands. He's going to have to be Kenpachi and use two.
Oh, God. My power up is two hands.
Also, what do you guys think about the reverse blade stuff?
The reverse blade.
How Kenshin has.
I don't even know what we're talking about.
Yeah, to be honest, I'm sorry.
Yeah, it was talked about in the first or maybe second episode actually, where Kaoru pulls out the blade and looks at it and goes, "Oh, this is a reversed blade." That's so usually a blade, is sharp on the outer edge, but this is sharp on the inner edge.
Okay.
So
I didn't notice that, to be honest.
Yeah, so he can't kill people with normal strikes. So when he hits people, he hits them with the dull edge, the thick edge.
That makes sense.
And when he actually wants to hurt people, he has to swipe a different way or reverse his blade.
Okay. So you mean to tell me he's going to go from dull edge to sharp edge if he has to defeat somebody?
Yeah, well the thing is he doesn't want to kill anybody, so he doesn't want to hurt anybody either, so
yeah.
That is the question.
I mean, that's an interesting question because it seemed like just from what very little we know about him, he had a past where he killed a lot of people in the past, and he did it for the government too. So
yeah, a lot of imperialism in this series. I love it. I love the politics.
You love imperialism?
Okay, let me rephrase that. I love the fact that this series focuses on Meiji era politics.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which has to do with imperialism.
Okay. But yeah, it's interesting just to see that sort of aspect where it's just essentially it's nothing more than just Kenshin is he has no master. He's a samurai solo lone wolf type, but he used to kill a bunch of people, but now he won't. Why is that? We don't know. And it's definitely curious as far as to the mysteriousness of his character, and yeah, I'm definitely curious to know why that is.
I think what was interesting when they're because we didn't get this before this episode, where they were talking about his exploits and whatnot when he was the manslayer, was that the ages he was doing this was ages 14 through 19, so that 5-year period. That's what's really interesting, that he did this. He was the manslayer, and what I would say wasn't his prime. I guess you could say it was his prime because that's when he was killing a lot of people. But you would think that someone wouldn't be in their peak physical condition until they were in their mid-20s to late 20s. So there's possibility he could be way stronger than he is now, but who knows, because he's concealed himself.
Yeah.
Also, yes. Can you explain to us why he talks like Yoda?
Oh, he's a hillbilly. He's a redneck.
Is that what it means when people talk like that? Where it's like, I do these things because I do.
That's how they used to talk back then. Yeah, that's another this is very historically I don't want to say accurate, but because there is some changes. Obviously, it's an original story, but very historically accurate to even how they would talk. This was also in the original series too.
Huh.
That it is.
And what's the Oro? Is he a fan of Oreos?
No, I think that's just some southern like art, like their version of like a southern gentleman, by God. Like in modern day Japan, that'd be like Osaka, Japan. Like how people speak Osaka Japanese and normal like Tokyo Japanese.
Okay.
There's different dialects, but his is more. They're more obvious back then because everyone was more separated.
Okay. Because me and Sasuke were both kind of like looking at each other, like, why the fuck does he talk like Yoda? He just, does that backwards speak that Yoda does. This is very interesting, but that's good to know. He's from the South. It's good to know.
South, baguette, do you?
Great. Now I can imagine Kenshin with a shotgun and like a piece of straw hanging from his lip, just going, "There's gold in them there hills. I won't get some."
We need Red Dead Redemption, but with swords.
Yeah. Arthur.
What do you guys also think about Kaoru? Because it was last episode, maybe it was this episode. I get these two mixed up just because I know these original episodes really well. But what do you guys think about Kaoru? Because do you guys think we're gonna get the romance that never ends throughout the entire series? Like Inuyasha and Kagome?
I think there is going to be a romance between these two characters, but I don't think it's going to be as, because you mentioned Kagome and Inuyasha, I don't think it's going to be as in your face about it as it. I think it may be teased at some points. You already know what romance series like to do. The perfect situation is when a character is wounded and they're nursing them back to health. They have a cold or something like that. So that's always a way for them to do it. But yeah, I think it's going to be teased, but I don't think it's going to be an actual thing for a while. I think they're going to have to be on a lot of exploits for them to have that type of relationship. Because from what we've seen, Kaoru kind of gets high strong when people think that Kenshin is her boyfriend and whatnot, but Kenshin hasn't showed any real interest in her as a woman, so we don't know how he feels about her in that way. So
yeah,
we shall see.
I think in her character in general, I think she has for people like me who've never read the manga, I think she has the biggest chance for like a resurgence in her character, especially later on with these proposed second and third arcs, because I kind of noticed she's kind of bland. Honestly, she's just kind of like the main MC girl, like you would see in the 90s. Just
you're back.
Okie doke.
Yeah, just kind of there. I understand.
Yeah, which is fine. But yeah.
That's why I was happy last episode that they gave her something to do when it came to her protecting the dojo for the little amount of time that she actually did it. Yeah. And then them giving her a sense of purpose with Yahiko and her teaching Yahiko the way of the sword. That was a way for both of those characters to grow at the same time, which I like. And Yahiko obviously wants to be under the tutelage of Kenshin, because Kenshin is obviously the stronger fighter. And he doesn't really respect Kaoru, but yeah, those characters are gonna. You can see the path for those characters to grow.
Yeah, we've also just mentioned in the chat here, because we've had some people in the chat I haven't got to read yet. It seems Pro Last Media is a super big Kenshin fan, so that's awesome. He could be our Scarlet Disaster for this season with Kenshin, which should be a big help.
Oh my god.
But he says, he's supposed to have a similar vernacular to Son Goku. And as well, also remember Kenshin is pushing 30 and Kaoru is a teenager. Old-timey stuff. Yeah, that's also true. That's also true.
I mean, we got that in Inuyasha, basically, so.
Yeah.
Sorry, I had to pee like a pregnant horse. That's the saying, right?
It is now.
As well, I do want to mention that this is not really related to Kenshin anime, but they have live actions, and they're apparently very well received and have gone on to win awards and be nominated. I think it's like 3 Kenshin films. So, and also the OVA is really good too. The OVA is like one of the most beloved OVA of all time. So, hope we get that as well.
Decrepit Storm says, so there's going to be a Sunny Boy. I don't think his plot is confusing us like Sunny Boy.
Yeah, this show is more about its writing in terms of like character writing, like very in depth, but not that in depth.
Yeah,
not that crazy.
We haven't talked about Za much, but he seems like a cool character. So first and foremost, he has a chivalrous thing going for him, because when those drunk guys got belligerent and they struck the woman, the waitress, he stood up for her, even though he didn't pay the bill. He stood up for her, challenged to a fight. Yeah, he just got a free meal out of it, which, I mean, he did protect her, so at least he wasn't just a complete piece of shit. But yeah, his whole thing is him wanting to fight strong people. He would do it under the pretext of just basically being a mercenary. But as far as I can tell about him, he's not out there to kill people. I guess he just wants to thrill a battle. But he has another side to him where he hates imperialists. So he has a specific beef with Kenshin. So yeah, there's going to be a hard battle for him. He's motivated to beat him. But at the same time, like I said, he seems like a good guy to me. So I doubt it'll be a death match. I doubt he'll take it to that level.
Yeah, he's a cool character. I love him. I love all these characters. So
he's got the damn berserk sword.
Bazaka.
It was too big, too thick to be a sword.
Sounded like a pan.
He's holding it with one arm too. It's like, damn, how heavy is that? Oh, how strong is he? Definitely.
Oh boy.
Also, what's these notes? Why does it say Kaoru is going to sell her grandpa's NFT for big Dogecoin? She never does it though.
These notes are interesting. Why did he punch a gun though? he just it destroys a gun. The strength of these characters is insane.
He's got the magic touch.
I wonder where he got that gun from. Somebody from
imperialists,
the Wild West, I'm sure.
Got it from God damn it, Arthur.
Yeah, we got to see.
Giving the samurai guns.
The Decrepit Storm said it in the chat earlier too. Red Dead Rekention.
Yeah, that's a good title.
Yeah. We got guns now. They can make it happen.
Them goddamn Americans.
Always ruining things with their large fries and their blonde hair.
Yeah.
And their
I'll go with the large fries.
Yeah, people hate our large fries. Every other country is just like, why are your large fries that large?
Because America.
Yeah.
So yeah, that it for this episode of Rurouni Kenshin? Are you ready to move on?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah. honestly surprised you guys enjoyed as much as you did. I was sort of kind of expecting it to be 50-50 just because I wasn't choosing it necessarily for any other, just I was choosing it for like a very arbitrary reason. So
good so far.
Yeah, it's got some history behind it because it's like it came out around the time when I would watch Toonami. That's just for some reason I just chose never to watch it. I don't know why. Maybe
it's called
maybe
Samurai
for some
X
reason,
in the States.
I guess for some reason when I saw the trailer or like the intro for it or whatever, I'd be like, ew, romance.
Yeah.
But it's funny because later on I watched Inuyasha, and then that's straight up bull. Okay, it's kind of unique. Like, it's got romance, but it's also got a lot of just action. But
I feel like Inuyasha is one of the few battle shonen series which is way more romance than, like, the balance of romance and action scenes is, I won't say it's 50-50, but it's close to being 50-50.
Yeah, it's pretty perfect.
This is a romance in a different way. This is like a romance saga.
Rurouni romance?
No, like in terms of not romance as in like between two people, but like the concept in throughout history, that sort of thing.
Romanticism.
Yeah, it's you'll see what I mean. But let's go ahead and let's talk about Jujutsu Kaisen Season 2, Episode 4. This is also one that I don't know what you guys think about it at all.
Oh, we fucking hate it.
Yeah, just we wanted to kill it, but then we were like, "He's not here, damn it."
Yeah.
Survive through the skin of your teeth.
Yeah. What the hell did you guys? I just want to know your guys' thoughts on Rico Amanai and what happened with that.
Well, spoilers for anyone that still hasn't caught up with Jujutsu Kaisen, leave now. But I feel like we barely got a chance to know her, and then all of a sudden, she got a pop right in her dome. You know, just poor. Oh, that's just flickered. See, stop.
I'm sorry.
You're back from the dead, all right? But yeah, I thought that was pretty sad. This arc is pretty. It's just, what the fuck is with my lights? You see that?
You did the seance. It's because you did the seance.
Give me my crave.
See, I'm gonna fly to Tennessee, whoop your ass. Stop it. No, but why it's doing that? That's weird. But it's a good show. Fucking animation is Mappa is just kicking the shit out of all other animes with this one, and I'm about to have a fucking seizure with this goddamn light. I swear to God, I'm gonna turn this light off. It's not moving. Fucking now I'm in the dark. I hope you don't mind.
Got scary EA. Hold on.
Oh, you're right.
KOA After Dark.
I hope you don't mind spooky, scary EA.
Adult Swim. Oh my god! Jinx! I didn't even know you were gonna say that. We said it at the exact same time. That was awesome.
That's how it used to be, though. It used to, when it transitioned from Toonami and Adult Swim. I just remember as a kid, Adult Swim always used to. There was this air around it that was kind of scary.
Yeah, scary.
I'll just say that for me, because when I would watch Adult Swim, like stuff. I'm not even talking about like stuff like Family Guy, stuff like Robot Chicken. And other obscure, weird shows that they would have, it would just be like, it was like a whole different world. It was like,
it was the height of surrealist comedy back then. It was awesome.
It really was.
What they would used to do And they did this for years. They would air a commercial for like 2.5 minutes in their block. It wasn't commercial. It was just a part of their show where it would be just 2.5 minutes of like ominous, really scary music with eyes. All you could see was eyes.
I remember that.
Yeah.
And then wasn't there, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but wasn't there like something where it said something where, you know, go to sleep before the sun rises or you won't wake up or something? It was like really creepy. Like that would encourage anybody, especially if you're a kid and you're staying up. It's like, get your ass to bed. What are you doing staying up?
Yeah, that scared the shit out of me when things like that would happen back then. Because I'd be like, oh, Family Guy, woo, Inuyasha, oh.
You get Metalocalypse and all the fucking gore and everything that was in it. Yeah, Aqua Teen Hunger Force was another one where it's just out there. There's something creepy about Space Ghost too, where they would just like sit in silence and just talk random stuff to guests. Tonight's guest is Jack Black from Tenacious D. How do you like my crotch? It's just random stuff like that in the Brack show. God, I loved Adult Swim back then.
Yeah, Adult Swim was great. Really I wasn't able to appreciate it because I was a kid back then. But looking back, brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Mm-hmm. Anyways, JJK, back on that.
Jujutsu Kaisen, so with Riko and her death, I felt what's the word I'm looking for? I feel like this word is a little too drastic, but I'll say it anyways. I felt a little cheated with Riko's death because not that she was a character that I was that fond of. It just felt like Gege gave us a character where we spent some time with her, like 2 episodes, and it was all good, all fun, and not that she had much potential. It was just an interesting story of what they were going for. This girl who I was telling EA, I kind of likened it to the ending of Last of Us, where where the decision that Joel has to make, and it basically comes down to, are you going to do this to save humanity, or are you going to do something that's personal? And that's, I think, what was going on with Riko, because it's like, do I sacrifice myself, assimilate with Tengo to save humanity, or am I going to be selfish and am I going to try to live for myself? And it seemed like she was going to choose the latter, but that was taken away from her. So that's where I kind of felt cheated.
In the manga, she outright says it. She says she chooses to live. So very sad. Yeah. She was a
very sad.
She was a cinnamon roll.
Mm. Don't say that. I want one.
and we don't know if the maid is alive or not. So
right,
she's
alive. Wasn't she like thrown into the back?
No. Okay. When they show that scene, because I read the manga and I watched the anime. Because watching the anime, I looked at that scene. I'm like, oh, did they make a change? Did she survive? Because in the manga, I was just like, okay, so we just don't know. But I seen the anime and the scene, and what they were referencing wasn't her being alive after the fact. It was the initial kidnapping. So remember when they kidnapped her the first time? That's what they were talking about.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
So she dead.
She's most likely dead, yes.
Yeah.
Sad.
What?
Very sad.
She had to be a cool-ass maid just to die.
Yeah. Knew taijutsu and how to use a mop.
I told you she was going to die. I told you, yeah. As I said, as soon as I was like, oh, I kind of like this maid character. And then she gets kidnapped. I'm like, okay, well, she's going to die.
Well, I mean, technically, we don't know if she was really offed, but we never hear from her again. So it's pretty safe to say that, yeah, she's swimming with the fishes.
I mean, in that sense, she is dead. when we're talking about a fictional story, she would be
Yeah.
dead in that sense.
True.
That's true.
Very true.
I'm drawing a blank. Shit.
We had Big Daddy Deadbeat Toji complete his mission and deliver the corpse of Rico to the Star Boys.
Yeah,
the
religious, the Star Religion, the religious group, whatever the hell they're called. They're pretty cool because I like their whole thing in this, where they're like, we waited. It just crazier is the fact the religious dude goes, or like Shiyu Kong is like, well, you know, if Tengen like, you know, dies, like that could cause humanity to like collapse, right? And he just goes, so be it. If that is the case, then so be it. Like, oh my god, this guy's evil and crazy. I love this group. They play no relevance from here on out, but really just fun side group, I think, because they're so comically evil.
Yeah, they believe in that cause wholeheartedly, which is to make sure that Tengen is as he is now, because they believe the assimilation process would change who he is as a being, and to preserve Tengen, they decided to kill Rico. So weird, interesting group. I guess it gives you a layer of world building that there are non-sorcerers that are this concerned with. Tengen's not really a sorcerer, but he's in that world more so than the regular world. But I get, yeah, like I said, it gives you a bigger sense of world building with Jujutsu Kaisen. But yeah, as told you had to find out in the episode, the job wasn't done. The job was done, but he still has some unfinished business.
Yeah. We also didn't really mention the whole Ghetto versus Toji scene.
Because it was a demolition.
It was.
Literally was. That animation was falling building, and he's just owning his ass. I'm like, holy crap!
He racked up a bill.
He's got his ass whooped,
but he didn't die. I'm pretty sure
he left him
just seemed like. He gave him the old Luffy scars.
Yeah. So the reason he did that is because he said it in the episode. He didn't want to kill Geto because by killing Geto, it would release all the absorbed curses he had, which nobody knows what's going to happen when that happens. Mm-hmm. So he decided not to kill him, which I think is definitely the right choice.
He just gave him a love scratch.
Yeah,
it's smart,
sort of, kind of. And Geto tried to give him his own version of Ellie Nalise. And Toji was like, sorry, you're not my type.
Oh, you're talking about Edward Scissorhands?
Yep.
Or, yeah.
No, I'm talking about the cursed spirit thing.
Yeah, Edward Scissorhands. She like cut his ear.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Or the outside of his ear. But yeah, that's the thing about the curses in Jujutsu Kaisen. You could be a powerful person but still fall victim to the curses because they may have like very specific powers that will neutralize you completely, because he was in a situation where he couldn't just outright kill the curse. He had to answer the curse's question.
Yeah.
And yeah.
And he used his cursed tool, which if you forgot, nullifies all curses. So that's how he was able to get out of that. He took out the blade and he just went to town on her, pretty much.
Yeah.
So that means Ellie Nalise is a cursed spirit. Yes.
Probably.
The curse of sexual desire. Freaking Sasuke.
Yes, that's me.
Gojo lived.
He did.
Oh, he did. Yeah.
I mean, they explained it because he did the whole he pulled the Uno reverse card and just lived.
Yeah, well, basically, so this is a thing with Jujutsu Kaisen that I hate, but also at the same time I love it because it's so much detail. But the author will go out of their way to describe things as like a scientific, like, research paper at times, and he even describes just like physics sometimes in some of these chapters. And this was one of the instances here. Basically, all you gotta know is Gojo took, because cursed energy has only negative effects on the body, so think of it as a negative, a minus. So what he did is he basically took, you know how in math you multiply two minuses and make a positive? That's basically what he did here. Well, he basically just overlapped the two minuses to make a positive.
Okay.
And what that did is that reversed the effect of, because it can't regenerate a body, cursed energy. It can't heal you. But because he overlaid it and then using his limitless technique, which is a whole other fucking thing, he was basically able to fully heal himself.
And then he became this super OP freaking character. He became the Gojo that we know from present day.
Yeah, Gojo's insane.
You could say he left an imprint on Toji.
He did. Yeah.
He was very impressed.
He was.
It's like, wow, I gotta hand it to him. Oh wait, I can't.
And also as well, I mean, Gojo's moves, almost all of them are like when he describes them are really complicated. So you have that technique he did, and as well, because also of his limitless, he took basically think of it, it's simplified. Think of it this way: he took red and blue smashed them together to create purple. Purple doesn't exist without red and blue, so he calls it imaginary mass. But just think of it as he's creating a new color that didn't exist before.
Purple rain.
Purple rain. And then then Prince, you know, he just
comes out, starts playing.
Yeah.
What it is with JJK, I think they make it more complicated than it actually is.
I agree.
Because with Gojo's power, with like Limitless Void, well, not Limitless Void, because Limitless Void but they still overcomplicated. Limitless Void, like what we've seen from Jogo, it's basically a over simulation to the point to where your mind freezes because you're getting so much put in front of you. You read Chainsaw Man, so you know that there's a character that did something like that in Chainsaw Man, and I like the way they explain it, Chainsaw Man, because it's very simple. It's they tell you it's like, oh, okay, and you kind of get a visualization of it, but JJK is like, yes, I put this in your front of your face, and you can't see this because this is in your and this and this and it.
The scientific properties of such do not allow your feeble mind to understand me.
And then, like with red and blue, red is basically it just repels. It's that simple. It's kind of just think of it like a magnet. Gojo can slow everything down to the point to where it's not touching him. That's why most things, if you throw something at him, you throw knives, rocks, whatever, it's not going to touch him because he has the ability to slow it down to the point to where it's motionless. And then with red, he can just in a reverse, throw it back at somebody, but he usually uses like red balls or whatever. And then purple is basically Kamehameha. That's the best way. It's a Kamehameha.
It's an energy beam, yeah.
Yeah.
It's
very
a
powerful
gigantic
one.
key blast.
Yeah. But man, Toji is despite him,
he looks like this now.
Yeah.
I can't. Hold on. I gotta
He
look
got
at
bitten
this.
by a shark.
Oh, I see. He's Shark Boy now.
He's what my moon pie looks like after I take a big chomp.
Not the moon pie. Sasuke, look.
I gotta look. Hold on. I gotta go back to Discord. Are you okay?
Somebody's touching me. You know who it is?
It might be a cursed spirit. Is it Migi?
No.
Did it say Belina?
Mm-mm.
Just-
It's Eloise!
Nothing I can do.
Run.
You probably have a disease now. You have all the diseases now. She probably would have like scurvy or something.
I have super 8s.
Decrepit Storm says Gojo destroyed him with math.
Yeah, because for example, like the curse techniques and whatever, is all you have to do is think about the opposite. That's it? The opposite. Like that's what red and blue basically is. Red, again, blue brain stains towards them, and red pushes it back.
Yeah.
And then like they basically use as pseudo healing with Shoko. Because that's where the idea came from to heal himself, Shoko, because she's the one that used reverse curse technique to and still does it to heal people. Which there's not a lot of reverse curse technique users. I think the ones that we know of thus far are Shoko, Gojo, Sukuna. Am I missing somebody?
Wait, what?
I think that's all the ones we know of thus far. I think that's all we know of. So those 3.
Okay. Also, as well, Toji's heavily restriction / heavenly pact. That's an important thing with his character because Maki has this too, where basically Maki doesn't have this. The similar between Toji and Maki is that they both can't use cursed energy, but they have none. But Toji has specifically a heavenly pact, which basically allows him to trade using curses for like basically buffing himself to be insanely strong and like almost pretty much undefeatable. Which we see here, the only thing to defeat the undefeatable is Gojo, who is also undefeatable. So, kind of cancels it out once you meet somebody as powerful as Gojo.
Yeah. Hard battle to win.
When you get a floating resurrected dead guy coming your way, I think that's when you need to like run. You know, that's one of those. I think I lost this battle. I'm gonna go and just be with my lovely wife and kid. Nope. Too late.
Next, mention somebody Zero. I forgot about Zero. So, yeah, Yuta as well.
Yeah, Yuta. Yeah, Yuta is supposed to be the person to replace Gojo. So, oh Jesus, there's so many powerful characters in this series. Like we already had 2 of them face off, the Toji and Gojo, and we still have Yuta. We still have, we saw Geto get destroyed by Toji, which, when you think about it that way, because Geto and Gojo they're not, I wouldn't say very similar, but they're in the same echelon. So the fact that Toji was able to take someone like Geto out truly shows how strong Toji is and how durable and just insane.
Yeah, I mean,
insane got no brain or half their torso.
What I said, I didn't say it was a Freudian slip. I'm sorry.
I think we all have video evidence.
Mm-mm.
You're going to prison.
Mm-mm.
Calling the police.
You can't call the police. You know why?
Why is that?
I am the police.
I am justice.
No cap.
Hey, said no cap. So that means it must be true.
Crepustorm says, when the guy you stabbed to death comes at you, you need to reconsider your life choices. This is why you should have just chopped his head off.
Right.
Honestly,
instead he stabbed his leg 1,000 times. Why did
If
he?
I mean, that's
If
an
I
artery,
thought I-
so
If I thought I killed Gojo, I'm sorry. This may be a little distasteful, but I'm probably going to keep his head as a trophy.
Damn.
dude, all the fangirls would hate you.
Sasuke,
I mean,
how
everybody
could
hates
you?
him already, so no,
Yeah,
like
that's
literally nobody likes this guy. Even the guy he wanted to hang out with was like,
Toji,
just work.
Toji doesn't even like himself. He even says at one point, like in this, like he wanted to live a life where he didn't care about anyone, even himself.
Deadbeat.
Well, now he's literally a deadbeat.
He's just dead now.
Yeah, skip the beat altogether. He's just dead.
He got beat and he's dead. Perfect. You completed the prophecy.
Yeah. Also, a lot of people complained about this episode, and they said it was poorly adapted and not very good in the action scenes between Toji.
God.
What's wrong with it? I thought
They're
it was
complaining-
fantastic.
They're complaining about a very specific moment. I already know what moment it is, too. It's dumb.
It's really dumb.
It's the moment where Gojo goes like, "I am heaven." He in the manga, like he does this pose and he points to the sky, or whatever. And I guess people don't feel that it had the same impact. It's in motion. People,
I am inevitable.
I seen people use like this panel to screenshot moment, and it always boggles my mind when people do that because it's an anime. It's in motion. It's not going to look the same as a panel, which is there for you to just view it as it is. So I think that's the moment that people were complaining about. It's not accurate. I don't think it was any issue with the fight itself. In fact, I think the anime has been blessing JJK throughout its tenure because a lot of moments are better in the anime than the manga.
Yeah, the manga art is nowhere near as good as nowhere near as good as things like Chainsaw Man, and Chainsaw Man is Chainsaw Man. So
yeah, this is and speaking of me, I'm just manga. I'm anime only. Haven't read the manga or anything. Animation's beautiful. Like they are literally going above and beyond to make this show look fantastic. And I mean, I didn't think it needed that moment of I am inevitable, and just to do something like that. And even if it did, I didn't even notice. I feel like it served its purpose anyway. The guy's holy now, so you know. What difference does it make?
yeah, some people in the chat are saying they thought the adaptation was good, and they even talked about the AI hoax. Yeah, do you notice? Do you guys notice the trend with anime recently, like the big ones, where there's every season there's some sort of narrative. Remember last season, Demon Slayer mid story carried by action. Remember AOT? It was all the many different things with AOT that we've talked about. Every single season, if there's a big anime that's airing, there is some sort of stupid ass narrative that comes out of left field. It's like people just sit and watch TikTok all day, I think, and their brains have rotted at this point.
And do the NPC dance. I learned that recently from Satsuki. Lick, lick,
so
love ice
good.
cream. Yeah. Oh.
Yes.
I
wanted
so good.
I love
to
you.
fucking die. When I saw that shit, I was literally just like, this isn't real. But then I got recommended shit, Satsuki. I got recommended shit. It's real. Oh.
Well,
this in my eye.
know, remember the girl? This is going to kind of a throwback. Remember the girl in Snafu? When they were doing that rap battle with the guy with the hands? She was like an NPC. When she kept giving the ad libs, that was hilarious, though.
I do. That was hilarious. Like, never in my wildest dreams would I imagine that scene would have ever have happened, but it did.
Oh man!
Too bad they ruined everything else in season 3. I'm coming to terms with it. And then the OVA that came out months ago.
Oh, you watched it?
Yes.
Was it good? Did you like it?
No, fuck no. It was awful.
There was somebody in my server complaining about it. Once I knew it was focused on Yui, I said, I'm not watching this.
I wouldn't mind if it's focused on Yui. It's the fact that they ruined her character. They turned her into a homewrecker. Literally. They turned her into this person that's trying to get Hachiman, even though he's already said, I'm going out, with Yukinoshita. It's
Yeah,
really?
It's bad for a couple of reasons. One being that Yukino's supposed to be her friend. This isn't some random person that you're dealing with,
And she's like doing it to her face too. She's just like saying, well, someone might steal him. I'm just like, what the fuck is this?
That's a Rojas thing. Roja does that, we don't bat an eye. That's how Roja is. Roja isn't really cool with the other girls. That's fine. That's within her character. That's not Yui.
Right.
So that's kind of disappointing to hear about.
Yeah, and I saw it because, like I said, new snafu. Might as well give it a watch. That OVA was horrible. I wish I could blank that from my memory, like I never saw it. Because I love the series overall. I just feel like season 3 kind of ruined some characters for me, and then the OVA just really cemented it. Where I was just like, God damn. But anyway, enough about my woes.
Well, that it for JJK? Anything else?
Well, big thing with Gojo and Geto at the end where they see the Star Group cheering them on as they're carrying away Rico's corpse, presumably to just because they already confirmed the kill, so it's just like they're probably going to give her a proper burial, whatever it may be. But Gojo remarks that he's thinking about killing them all because how he's feeling now, his sense of humanity is kind of gone. He even remarks about that too when he ascends, because he talks about him not even wanting to beat Toji for revenge for Rico. It's just like this enlightenment that he gets, and he's high off this power that he now has, and he just wants to I guess like show off in a way. But yeah, Gojo has that moment where he asks Geto, hey, you want to kill these guys? And Geto's like, no. He's still clinging on to his, it seems like, fragile sense of morality, because right now he's only doing good for the concept of good itself. It doesn't even feel like he believes in this personally, because he's like, no, we can't do that because it just logically doesn't make sense. These guys didn't have anything to do with the murder, which yeah, it makes sense, but he's kind of ignoring his feelings of hatred and whatnot. So maybe this is a there's a path to get the Geto that we know of now, with the scar across his forehead.
Yeah, that's true. It's also the path. It's the same thing with Gojo as well.
Guess who's here, Ben?
Oh, who? What?
Look who's here.
Oh, Lightning Eagle says, why is Ben shyly blushing like a young girl in love? It's because I'm a young, beautiful maiden, and I deserve the respect of a man that will come and sweep me up off my feet and make me fall head over.
I need a hero.
Exactly. I need a hero, goddammit.
A hero to the end of the night.
Also, Lightning Eagle, if you haven't seen the beginning, please do.
Yeah.
Go back and watch the beginning. It's well worth your time.
It's pretty fun. Pretty fun for me in particular, because, I'm alive again. Yeah, I think it goes for the same thing with Geto and Gojo. I think they're both in the same situations where I think dealing with Choji, I think, really, honestly, I think it's the deaths of Kuroi and Amanai that have really affected these two. And I think we're going to look back on this in however many chapters or however many episodes, like way down the future. We're talking like even stuff past what the manga's covering. I think we're going to look at this and we're going to go, this is a big turning point for these two characters. And I think Riko Amanai is sort of the catalyst. Her dying changed everything. You know, it was it was you know, it's like their most disastrous moment in their entire lives, and it changed them for the worst. It broke them, I think.
It was Shigeru's dad's fault.
Yep. Dude, families in this series are kind of crazy. As we're starting to figure out with the Zenin clan, they're not exactly the brightest people.
Well, they give you a visualization between the rift that may form, or that we know formed, because with Zero we already knew that Geto went on the wrong path and Gojo presumably killed him at the end of the movie. But we got the visualization with Gojo stepping outside the room and how it looks with it being red, and with Geto being in the room, it is like illuminated all blue. And with us knowing those characters and their personality is kind of, it should be the reverse. Like Geto should be on the dark side, of Gojo should be on the side of light. But I guess it makes sense though, just because Geto is in the room with like these religious members that are like celebrating a teenager's death. So
Hooray!
Yeah. So I guess it makes sense in that line of thinking.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Well,
that's all I got.
Yes, it's time to now get into Zom 100, episode 4. This is also one, I mean, I guess like every single show tonight, you'll be hearing my opinions on. I don't like this show.
What?
Uh-oh.
Yeah. I think this is some stupid shit. That's what I think. And I mean like literally. Like it's literally supposed to be stupid shit. And I don't like that. Like I don't know. Like I feel like the characters, like the main character especially, it's too cartoonish. It feels a little campy in places. I don't like the main character at all. Because he's very bland. He has like no real character, in my opinion, besides just being just kind of like an MC character, like just a little washed down, in my opinion. I mean, I like the art style and stuff. I guess my thought process throughout this entire series so far has been, it's just not really interesting. There isn't a lot of depth to it. And I get that's the point. It's supposed to be a lighthearted take, but it feels more like an isekai in sheep's clothes to me. Because it feels like it's the same concept of going into another world, except for this time, instead of a smartphone, it's zombies. And I don't know, like I feel a lot of the tropes are very obvious, and I get what they're trying to do. They're trying to reference, you know, these George Romero classics, right? And that's awesome, but we've done that for how many series have you seen, especially zombie flicks, where they reference a George Romero movie, or they pay homage to it, or they just rip it off, you know, like in a respectful way, like on purpose, a million times. And I feel like with this series, there's no like, I don't know, there's no hook for me, like personally speaking. Like I could watch it every week, like it wouldn't make me angry. Like I'm not gonna like go, oh my god, it's gonna ruin my day. Like this isn't like, you know, I'm not saying it's garbage. I'm saying, for me personally speaking, I just don't like this. I think it's just average. Like I think this kind of, for me, it feels like this came out in 2010, not 2023. Like it feels a lot like High School of the Dead. But I think High School of the Dead is better. I think High School of the Dead does the whole zombie thing much better. But I know the series is very popular, so I'm getting a lot of hate for that, and that's totally fine. But yeah, I don't think this series is like anything special, to be honest. Like, I think it's pretty much generic, and I don't know, it's very watered down for me. As well. The series is, I don't know what the rating is on Mal, but I know before the series came out, it had like low 7s in the manga rating. So I was very surprised and by that. I'm like, that's getting an adaptation. It seems people don't really enjoy this show too much. So I'm surprised to see it come out and people actually really love this, and there's a lot of hype behind it. But it also makes sense because all the characters are bland enough to where, I mean, of course this would be really popular, I think, with many people. I think many people will love something like this, where it's not like, you know, like JJK, where you have to go in, you got to put on your thinking cap. Like, this is not one of those shows, you know. This is like the equivalent of, like, you know, going to the movies to watch Star Wars instead of Citizen Kane. So, which is fine. Once again, I think the show's actually, I can observe and see clearly that it's good, you know? I can see, like, the animation is really good, and the art style and the presentation is a little different, but it's not too different. And that's sort of my crux with everything. It's just, I don't know, I feel like I've seen this a million times before in one way or another. And I feel like if you're going to bring back zombies, you know, I don't know, give it a twist instead of just a bucket list. I feel like we've seen that before. That feels like something you would see in, like, I don't know, like those era of movies when, like, Jim Carrey would do, like, Bruce Almighty. Like, those kind of, that's what it feels like. So, I don't know. Could just be me. Could just be me. Then again, I don't know what you guys really think about it. So, what do you I mean, am I wrong? Am I, is my take out of left field? Have you guys seen something like my opinion on it before?
Do you want me to go, EA, or do you want to go?
Well, I'm just gonna lead with this and say I respectfully disagree. I think that when it comes to this show overall, it's probably one of the more unique takes on the zombie apocalypse, and it's very much a almost kind of like a breath of fresh air when it comes to just storytelling in that genre, because I feel personally when we get zombie flicks, we always get the basic, you know, end of the world, everything's coming to an end, oh woe is me, fight to survive, yada yada. What they did in the first episode was what immediately got me hooked, where they did the compare and contrast, where this guy was in such a shitty job to where a zombie apocalypse brought him happiness and literally made him just go, this is the greatest day of my life. And I just thought that was a unique twist to that, so to speak. And I do like the art style. I think, well, this is a new studio as well, and I think they're doing really good for what they have. And I think what set it apart was the art direction, just the whole camera angles, you know, the transition of time, just everything that happens. Yeah, I feel as if this particular series is one that I look forward to every week, and it's something that I feel as if kind of takes the zombie genre and instead of makes it all dreary and gloomy and turns it into something fun, where, and it at the same time, not only does it like have like fun with it, but it also kind of really makes you think about life and how little time we have on this earth, to be honest. Like, it really shows the perspective of if you stayed at that dead-end job and did this for years versus actually doing what you want to do in life and fulfill that bucket list. Now's the time to do it before you end up dead, because essentially you're going to be dead anyway with zombies eating your brains and whatnot. But I feel as if this series is just really good. And it was originally I picked it was because of just simply because it's a zombie flick. It's a series where it just has zombies. And I love the zombie series. Heck, even today's episode reference Resident Evil 2 with the guy in the semi truck eating a burger. That's definitely Resident Evil 2 if I ever seen one. But I feel like this is a lot better than than what you originally took it out. And like I said, I respectfully disagree, but that's how I feel about it personally. And with that, give it on over to you, Satsuki.
Well, first, before that, I want to say actually, I agree with the whole take on, like, I think the series has good parts of it, and I think that is one of them where it tells you to like live your life, you know, day by day, and not think too far ahead and live in the moment, right? And for all it's worth, and not waste your time at shitty jobs. Because when I was watching this in my Discord server, and we actually had a conversation about that. So the fact that maybe I didn't give it enough credit in my initial bevy of information there, but it did spark an interesting conversation in our Discord chat. So I would definitely give it that. Once again, I just think for me personally, it's a personal thing. But anyways, Satsuki, what do you think?
So me and EA have already kind of talked extensively about why we like this show. In my opinion, it's my favorite show that we're watching this season, even more so than JJK. And maybe that's because I read JJK, but I think this show is so unique in how it uses the zombie apocalypse setting. Because what EA already talked about with the zombie, how zombie flicks are done and whatnot, and the contrast between how Tendo treats the revelation that he's in the apocalypse is the notion that it's different, and it's something that you wouldn't see. First of all, you just wouldn't see it in like an American movie because like this is stuff that you can only get away with. Like what's going on in the show is something that you can only get away with really in a manga and anime medium, and for us to absorb it the right way, I feel. But yeah, it uses the zombie apocalypse as a way of kind of making you question what are you prioritizing and why you're prioritizing those things. Because a lot of the times we go through life thinking, "Well, I don't have time for this, I don't got time for that." And of course you got to think long term. You can't be short sighted and just go go after everything you immediately want as soon as you think about it. But again, it gives you that thought in the back of your head as to why am I not pursuing my dreams? Why am I doing a job that I hate? I could be doing something that I like. And it's really as simple as that. And it took the zombie apocalypse for kind of societal pressure to be lifted from Tendo for him to pursue those things that he wanted. Um, and so, like, when he creates his bucket list, a lot of the stuff is stupid, like him wanting to grow a nice looking beard. But some of the stuff is kind of, when you look at the bucket list, it's kind of sad that a character would put off something as simple as getting a girlfriend, but that's how his life has gone to where it's just been him trying to survive. And I think that's the main point that they were trying to bring with the we called her Jinbei, the girl that was introduced in episode 2.
Yeah.
They show this difference in living and surviving. And I think that's a very smart thing to do when you're in the zombie apocalypse, because they basically contrast her, because she has her own list. She has a list of things that she needs to do in order to prolong her life as much as possible. He has a list to live the most fulfilling life he can. And again, that shows you the stark contrast between surviving and truly living. Um, And in most zombie shows, you're getting characters trying to survive, not live. There's sometimes that, I mean, it's happened in Walking Dead, like they'll try to have fun and whatnot, but again, it's all about the survival aspect, the breakdown of humanity, the emotions that come with just kind of trying to recreate society. And I think this show is unique, and it's not trying to go after all those things that have been talked about ad nauseum. It's kind of taking that setting and making a critique to like the audience as to like, why aren't you pursuing what you want to pursue? And I think I think it's creative. It's just it can be a goofy show, but I kind of look at it in like Danganronpa, where Danganronpa has like his own wacky type of thing going for it. And I don't want to judge it by conventional method or conventional standards. Because like it'll do the stuff where like the blood is like different colors or whatever. And I think that's a smart thing, because just by them making blood a different color, like it'll be blue, pink, whatever, just them doing that brings a more lighthearted tone, because they're not really going for the horror aspect of a zombie apocalypse. They're using that as a backdrop to bring home these themes of pursuing your dreams. That's really what it is. This show is actually more like a slice of life than anything than a horror show, which again is interesting to do that with a zombie apocalypse setting. So I really like this show.
Well, dang. I mean, when you guys put it that way, yeah, I think it makes more sense.
Yeah, because honestly, I feel like I went into it thinking it was going to be a goofy kind of show, and that's not to say it isn't goofy. It's just that I think I was surprised more by how much it's not heavily focused on the goofiness. And yeah, it's in there, but it's more focused on other things, which is like, wow, that exceeded my expectations.
I guess maybe for me, I'm annoyed by certain cliches, and I think this anime hit on many of the cliches that I just don't really jive with anymore. So I don't know. I will definitely look at it from the way you guys are looking at it, because I think I was looking at it not the wrong way, but just in a way that for me personally did not work well with my personality. Because I've noticed, I think I like more, and I think maybe you guys have noticed, but I think I like things like stories that are a little bit more subtle and hidden, like they kind of like obscure the story a little bit. Like I like stories that go in depth with characters, and like, I mean, you see all the shows that I've picked for KOA over the years. Like I'm into the stuff that's like Fate Zero, you know, I'm into the darker kind of stuff, so could be why.
Well, I was interested to hear you say what you said, because I have a friend that also doesn't like this show, and because I don't really get on VC with him, I never got to ask his like in-depth thoughts. Not saying that he's going to have like your same opinion, but I always wondered why people wouldn't like this show. But it was interesting, because like I said, for how I viewed the show, I just thought that with the zombie apocalypse setting, you have in mind what you're going to get with it. You're having it in your mind,
Yeah.
you know, sad moments, breakdown of family, you're going to be on the move. There's going to be tragic deaths. That's the type of stuff you're thinking about when you're getting a zombie apocalypse show. But Zom 100 thus far, I don't. Not to say that it won't go to those. It won't go back to the classic things that zombie apocalypse has set forth, like other shows. Because one thing about Tendo that I think you saw in this episode was he, for a moment, was like affected by a death because of like how sudden it was. Like he had to actually deal with it, rather than how he dealt with death in the first episode, where he's running around, having fun, giddy. He was kind of sad, Tendo, this episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Yeah.
But shout out to the girls in this episode. I sealed the girl's death. They have names. So Whiskey Chick, that's what I call her, because she downed an entire bottle of Jack Daniels. I don't know how that's possible.
Disgusting.
But Reika, I call her cute hoops, Maki, because she had like the hoop earrings, and then Shy Girl, Yukari. They all died.
Flight attendants.
Yeah, and they're all dead. That's why it doesn't really matter. But I was like, oh, I like this Whiskey Chick girl because she just went to the bottle immediately. She's like, fuck this. Let's just drink and have fun. And then she got that scene was weird. Now that I think about it, because I wrote in the notes, I put the zombie takes EA's advice from last week. She's drunk, she's on the counter or whatever, and she kind of has her legs parted, and then the guy, the asshole who gets bit, that's a cliche.
Yeah, hiding
the bite, doesn't say anything. He turns into a zombie, which also begs the question: how fast is this zombification? Because that guy had that bite for a while, presumably.
Yeah.
And then she changed kind of instantaneously. It's hard to tell the passage of time because in one scene, Tendo is like throwing up in the bathroom and, pat, pats. And then in another scene, Maki and Kensho are having sex. So
yeah.
I don't know how much time actually passed in between her getting bit and whatever.
I mean, a lot of stuff can happen in 30 seconds.
What? It seemed like Maki was really good at. It seemed like Maki was really good. That's all I'll say. Because he was going to react immediately when he heard her the first time when Reika screamed, and then she was like, "No, let's go one more round." And then he's like, "No, I have to." And then he's like, "Oh, whoa."
So, true story. My girlfriend walked in on me when I was watching that scene. So, and it was in the living room too. I was just watching it on my break and everything just to get ready for tonight's show. And then all of a sudden, it's the scene where the guy is getting in between her legs and doing it. And she's like, "What the hell are you watching?"
Yeah, that scene was weird because they were definitely doing the fan service thing.
And then I said, "Of course you have to see this scene. You didn't see anything else. You saw the scene where it's the most lewd, and then 2 seconds later after she gets bit, it's the one, like you said, Kensho and Maki's in the bed." And I'm just like, no, the whole series is not like this, I swear. So... I had to defend myself today.
I mean, to be honest, this episode was more on the goofy side than anything.
Yeah, like, this is the most goofiest episode.
Yeah, there was a scene where Tendo is snorting tequila, which sounds painful as all hell. That
sounds awful.
There's and like maybe 30 seconds after that, Kensho just gets naked. He just says "fuck it" and whips out his dick.
Yeah, and he's like doing the dance, blocking it with circles or whatever. Like, what the fuck? Yeah.
This episode was weird. One of my favorite scenes. This was a goofy scene that I actually like. It was a scene where we saw the firefighter zombie. I don't know why that was so funny to me because he was still working. He was still doing a hell of a job. He was putting out fires. I was like, damn, these firefighters are real. Like, firefighters are the best, are true heroes. Because he was a zombie, he was still putting out the fires. I was like, damn.
Yeah, that was pretty funny. Yeah, and then that's when the Resident Evil 2 reference with the fat trucker eating a burger as a zombie, still driving the truck. I'm like, yeah, that's Resident Evil 2 for sure. And then the thing explodes, the tanker. That's the beginning of Resident Evil 2.
Yeah. Classic.
Very much so classic.
Remake did it really good.
Oh yeah. Yeah, they really did a good job with that. I feel like the one thing you could take away from this episode, yeah, it was full of goofiness and lightheartedness, but I like the part at the end where Tendo is having a heartfelt moment with the shy girl, and essentially just opening up to the point where she says that she hated her job, but then she realized, I actually love my job. I love the fact that this was my job, and it was flashing back to Concho whenever Concho's this, where he was talking about find something you love, you never work a day in your life type thing, and that's something where Tendo thought, I never found what I truly love, and that's what he put on his bucket list, to find something that he truly loves. And I also feel like that's something I feel like a lot of people struggle with. There's a lot of things that we would love to do, but I'm sure we do jobs that we don't love. You know what I mean? Like I
tolerate.
Yeah, we do it because it's a paycheck and it puts food on the table. But some of us are either afraid to go for that dream job, or it's too hard or too difficult, or we have it in our minds where we just shut down already. It's too hard. I couldn't make it anyway. You know, and I just love that, where once again the show just kind of shows that life's worth living. You just gotta kind of step out of that comfort zone and just go for it.
It's weirdly uplifting.
It really is.
It's funny to say that because 3 people got brutally murdered, but it's uplifting.
Oh, it's sad. It's sad.
And then, oh my god, this episode was goofy. Like, the more we talk about it, the more I'm like, okay, there was a lot of stupid scenes in this episode. So, like, Kenshin, like, after all the girls get brutally murdered, Kenshin's like, yeah, I found an 80-inch flat screen, baby. Let's go. What?
After all that heartfelt stuff.
What the fuck? Didn't you just have sex with the one girl? I mean, I guess he kind of, he freaked out. He did have a scene where he freaked out because he killed a zombie for the first time. So, like, that was... I guess if there was one criticism I would give the show thus far, they're not showing the effect of how traumatizing these things would be for the show. They are, again, trying to put a lot of things light-heart, in a light of being comical and fun and whatnot. But I do think there has to be moments of seriousness, or else you can't be 100% goofy all the way. It just doesn't work like that. Has to be like some type of balance.
Yeah, and I like Phil's comment where he says this is the closest to Army of Darkness as any show has been in a while, which I don't know if you've seen it.
Yeah.
But Army of Darkness is a perfect blend of just comedy and horror, and it's Bruce Campbell at his finest, and it's just perfect blend.
Yeah, super good.
Yeah.
Anything else on this episode of Zom 100?
Well, we're still waiting on Satsuki's future wife that he's going to put through the mattress.
Oh my god.
Oh, she's not a future wife. She just has big boobs.
Okay, not future wife. You missed it, see. I was like, did you see the ending? I think it was like the second episode, because they showed like the ending, like the video or whatever, and we saw that there was a blonde girl with big boobs, and we're like, how much you want to bet that girl is American? And she speaks like broken English. She's just like desu, and I like it's joke, stuff like that. And her name's like Amy or something like an American name. And Sasuke was like, all I know is that put her through the mattress.
And I would.
Because I think you were talking about a JJK character and you said the same thing, so you had to be consistent.
I think I was talking about Utahime.
The green hair?
No, Utahime is the one with the scar.
Oh, yeah. That's right.
I mean, Mei Shoko. I will say we talked about the art versus the manga. Yeah, the anime kind of gives all the JJK women like this beauty filter because they do not look as flattering in the manga. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, like Maki in the anime is like this gorgeous, lady, but in the manga she's like a fucking thumb.
She's a thumb.
Yeah, like all the characters look like thumbs. Gojo looks like a bunch of
circles. Oh
circles.
my god. Gojo's probably benefited the most from the anime.
Yeah. Gojo went from literally looking like a crackhead to like I don't know, looking like a cracked god.
Wow.
Yeah.
I don't know what to say.
I need to show you some panels. Well, I can show you the volume for one of the JJK volumes because there's a character there.
Though.
I feel like he may have taken a step back.
Really? Because I think Maki looks really good in the most recent chapters.
I don't know. It's weird because some of his spreads look really great, and then when he just does like the week to week stuff where it's not always spreads, like when it's just regular panels.
One of the chapters was unfinished. Do you remember that?
I remember that. I remember seeing that on my timeline before I read JJK. I remember that. It was I don't want to say what it was, but
that was a citrus moment. JJK had one of those.
Yeah. It's happened in Hunter x Hunter too. I don't know what happened exactly, but it's probably just the weekly schedule bogged him down and he wasn't able to put it out in time. So yeah. Apparently there were people trying to defend it when that happened. They were saying that the art
I already know the argument. Yeah.
It's like it's just unfinished. You don't have to damage control for this.
Yeah. It's not a big deal.
He's trying to convey the confusion of what the fuck are you talking about? Oh man.
You continue, Satsuki.
No, that's pretty much all I was gonna say. Tendo is Saitama apparently. He one punched the zombie.
Philip in the chat says he has two questions. The first one is, have you all seen anything about the live action Netflix adaptation? Which, by the way, when the first episode came out, they announced a live action for this series.
Yeah, which I thought was kind of weird. And I heard about it, but I'm probably not going to watch it. I don't have Netflix.
Oh, we're talking about Zom 100. I was so confused. I was like, are we talking about JJK? What?
Okay, come back, Satsuki. Come back. I know I was talking about Mei, but I'm sorry. We got to go back to
Yo, Mei's great.
100.
Yeah. I mean, I honestly liked the Kakegurui live action. I thought it was pretty good. Just because it kind of, I think it fit the series really well. But I mean, the only live action that I'm really looking forward to is One Piece. I'm just, in a million years, you would think Cowboy Bebop would be the good anime adaptation, right?
I'm gonna. Yeah.
But it's fucking One Piece. Not saying like One Piece is a horrible story. It's great, but it's not what you think when you think Netflix live action.
Mm-hmm. Well, for me, speaking of live action, I saw Twisted Metal on Peacock. That was a fun little series. It's based off the PlayStation video games.
Yep.
that came out in the mid to late 90s. Super fun. I highly recommend it. And even if you're not a fan and haven't seen anything Twisted Metal, it's still a really fun kind of like dystopian future blow cars up show. So I recommend it. And I know a lot of video game adaptations don't do so well, but I would say that this one in particular did really good, and I hope there's a second season.
How's the action?
The action, pretty good. Pretty good. Sweet Tooth cuts off a random dude's head, catches it, and goes, "What did you guys think?" And everybody just starts clapping and applauding. And the one guy was like, "I've never seen someone cut off someone's head and then catch it before." It was great. And Will Arnett does the voice of Sweet Tooth, and Samoa Joe is the body, which is
you told me that. Yeah, that's very weird. Why not
it's
have
weird,
Samoa Joe
but it
voice?
works.
What the hell? Oh, it works?
It really works. Like Samoa Joe's body, he just does the movements and everything because he's wearing a clown mask the whole time. So Will Arnett just does the voice, and it's just, yeah. So
I see.
You could easily dub over because he's wearing a mask. So it's just, so what do you think? Do I got the job? Yeah, it's really, really good. And they even do the famous Twisted Metal light his head on fire clown thing, and it was great. He's like, "All right, give me the lighter fluid. When I tell you, light me up." And then he did it, and he's driving, and he's just, oh, I loved it. It was really fun.
Yeah, I should check it out. That sounds fun.
It's really fun. I think, above all else, that's what it is. It's fun. So definitely watch that if you guys haven't. And Sasuke, you are sending me some goals here.
I was trying to show you the contrast because
yeah, I see that. Like in the anime, she looks. I don't even know what she's doing there, but then in the anime, wow, wow.
Thank you, Mappa.
Yep. Philip goes on to say, "Have you seen Another or Call Me Hero?" I've read the manga for Call Me Hero. I think I've also read the manga.
I've seen Another.
Yeah, I've seen or I've read Another. What was Another about? I can't remember.
Another was the one that took place. It was a period piece. I think it was in the 90s. It's the girl with the eye patch on her eye, and a guy goes to this town, and it's cursed.
Yeah, the horror movie.
And they can't tell him why it's cursed until after it has happened, and then like everyone's slowly. It's basically Final Destination in an anime form. It's really good until kind of towards the end, where it just gets kind of weird and convoluted. But like the build up and everything else is really fucking good. Like deaths rarely happen in the anime, but when they do, it's fucking graphic and just amazing. One person, well, maybe I shouldn't say. Just imagine an umbrella. Let's just say that.
Well, is there anything else?
No,
I think that's it.
All right. Well, EA, I have a question to ask.
What is a good buddy who's brought back from the dead?
Where can they find you?
Well, you know me. This is your old pal, Everything Animated. You can find me over at the YouTubes under the same name, Everything Animated. I think I'm going to talk about Rent a Girlfriend here pretty soon because I saw a panel and I showed Sasuke and you and all that where I was literally like, this is not real life. This is not true. I have to watch it just to see if what they said was true, which wouldn't put it past the show for doing that. But yeah, I think I'm going to watch that. So me and Rising, C Tactics is in a straitjacket, so he's not coming back to join. So it's going to be me and Rising. Come to my channel to watch that. As you can see, There is the Twitch. I may, sometime in the future, do a Danganronpa gameplay. I have to keep a promise to Mr. Sasuke the Savage about that. And yeah, I don't know if y'all see that, but we have a Patreon. Join the Patreon. I joined. I also created a Twitter for King of Anime, but you know, it's no longer called Twitter anymore. It's Zitter or X or drugs or so. I fucking know anymore. It is what it is. So you want alerts, you want to follow it, you can follow the Twitter, and I'll link it in the chat. So, yep, that's us. Yeah.
Satsuki, where can they find you?
You can find me on my YouTube, Sasuke the Savage, as well as my Twitch, Sasuke the Savage with a DA. Same name as my Z.com name. Don't follow me on Twitter. I'm inactive on it. I uninstalled the app. I'm not going back on that site.
Well, we have to change that for next week.
Oh, you have my Twitter in there?
Yeah, it's there.
I have everyone's.
Oh, well. It is.
You can follow me.
I mean, you can follow
all the
me.
people that follow Sasuke follow me.
Yeah, I mean, you can follow me. It's just that I'm not going to be on there. I'm not posting there again. So, but yeah, I plan to make a video on Insomniacs After School. I'm kind of I was going to put out this video way earlier, but when I got the news that it was ending soon, I kind of wanted to wait till I got the last chapter to put it out, which that's going to be into August 20th. But I'll at least have it written, and I'll probably drop it as soon as I read it. I guess that'll give me time to focus on the Yumiko video, because that's been something I've been holding off on for a long time. I haven't even looked at the script in like 2 months or so. But those are my plans. On my Twitch, I play Rain Code right now, Ace Attorney, Justice for All, Persona 5 Royal, as well as Nikkei, Booty Shooters. Fun time. We play gotcha. People call me ugly and they leave when they see my face. we sometimes we're NPCs. It's a good time. But thank you to Discrepit. Thank you to Decrepit Storm for being our first Patreon. Really appreciate that. Follow suit, everybody else. Be like Decrepit Storm. All right. That's all I have to say.
Well, as for me, yeah, I don't do Twitter anymore. So you can still follow me there, I guess, just like the other guys. There will be nothing, though. So don't. I guess. Twitter's not fun. Never was. So I'm glad I don't have to use it anymore. As for me, this week, I haven't come out with anything this week, but I plan to do a JJK video on the new episode, so that's going to be fun as well. The new JJK chapter, as soon as I can catch up to the manga, I'm doing that. So on my Bento channel, by the way, is my second channel, youtube.com/BentoYT. I cover Chainsaw Man there, and I'm going to be adding JJK to the mix. So definitely check that out, and that's up to date. So if you're not up to date with everything that's going on and you don't read the manga, don't check out the channel. This channel is basically just it's like my main channel, but I cover manga like just JJK and Chainsaw Man. Also, you can follow me on Twitch. Once again, no idea why it's there, but I put it there, I guess. Also, if you haven't already, join KOA Plus. It's only $1. You can buy literally anything for $1. And if you don't choose KOA Plus, we're gonna hurt you.
Yeah, do you really need to spend that $1 on, I don't know, that toll? Do you really need to pay it? You could just run it. Come on now.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So make sure you become a Patreon, or we're gonna find you. As well, follow us on Twitter. The only Twitter account we're actually using is the King of Anime podcast Twitter. That will be where we have all of our official updates. We're going to be probably posting lots of content there. So definitely go follow us there, because we are all pretty dedicated for KOA being on multiple platforms. So definitely go check all that stuff out, and check all these guys out. They're amazing. I want to say thank you guys for filling in for 2 months. Did not plan to go away for 2 months, but just needed to, and much better now. I don't have toxic things in my life that I did before, but I'm glad you guys covered me, and I appreciate that. You're all getting a raise.
Oh, hell yeah.
We're glad to have you back. The podcast definitely feels complete now.
That's good to hear.
Yeah, absolutely. It was not the same without you. We're the Three Musketeers. We were a duo, but we'll always be the Three Musketeers.
Yep. So I appreciate that, and besides
Oh
my god, Internet Monster.
Is that EA?
Yeah, it's EA.
After 3 hours, it just fucking it's coming for me.
Sound like a Cole Yoko monster.
Yeah, actually, yeah. But anyways, besides that and EA dying to the internet, see you guys next week. Bye-bye.
Later.
Later.